Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for this evening and most, and joining me are my friends who are probably less blurry than me. Matt, Tina will be here eventually, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We're going to play some D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we play Starfinder every Thursday, including last night, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last night was session 2 of at least 3 of basically back-to-back combat.
It's great.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. That's going to re-air on YouTube. We are at Alberon RPG on YouTube on Sunday. All of our social media is at Alberon RPG. Instagram is a place where you can see combat maps and miniatures and stuff in a much more close-up way. Here's our close-up cam. There's only some minis on there and some tape and a little bit Cowary notes. But yeah, those you can see it in much better detail on Instagram. And then if you are somebody who follows along with Mosaic Team 5, tonight is the very last night that any of the junk falls will always be junk. Rewards can be purchased. So at the end of tonight, that storyline is going to hit its next major leg. And then finally, for this 64-bit music and other music that you hear tonight, we use Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set that you can use to add music and sound effects into your life. You can add things like this. I don't even know what this is. Nothing, as far as I could tell. You could play nothing if you want.
Sound of silence.
Nope. Can't do that. Can't do that. You could have a pirate sound. You could do something like Ships Ahoy.
It could also be
which is also silence.
Yeah, also silence. You could do many different sound effects with Sirenscape. Add sound effects into your life. But we're going to go ahead and add our own theme song here for a recap.
What? So it makes me unreasonably proud that Matt's go-to "Hey, how's it going?" emoji in the Twitch chat is the Brenna Sup Nerd.
It's a good emoji, though.
It is really good.
Adventures. Last that we played, Alina held vigil for Billy, keeping her belongings, in particular the ear cuff that she always wore, safe. Minka, you became something of a pariah, as Ori very comfortably told you. He told you that you would survive this, which, true, I suppose. Surviving, not thriving. Cheshire and Ori played a game of cat and mouse, and even though Ori was the one looking for Cheshire, it seemed that Cheshire was certainly the cat. You encountered the merchant ship Fausta de Lilith, a potions vendor out of Dungannon bound for the Cinderain. Alina, you used Petal, your sprite, to search for things to steal that might be used in the resurrection of Billy or purchasing reagents thereof. Ori tried to buy poison from a very rude Aarakocra. Minka attempted to trade druid-crafted baubles and managed to obtain some healing herbs. And Cheshire played a jaunty tune, her newest epic, entitled Minka the Malevolent, which earned her a potion. You continued on, and eventually reached the misty city of Petrichor, which materialized in front of you as the rain began. Sailing into the small port, you found a rainy city of brownstone buildings, cobblestone streets, and canals that run through the centers of these narrow passageways. You departed the ship with little fanfare and headed toward the House of Sorrowful Rain. But on the way, you were shocked to discover that this bag of salt and Billy turned out to be much more lively than originally thought. Billy, you came back to life on the streets, coughing up a mouthful of salt.
Sorry.
Aware that something had occurred.
So sorry.
But after a moment of relief, confusion, and maybe a little bit of suspicion, you all decided to find a place to rest. You went to the Petrichor Performers Association Castle, and instead of requesting lodgings in a reasonable manner, put on an impromptu show before ever uttering a word. However, you did receive lodgings, invoking Hearsome's name. The next day, you went to the House of Sorrowful Rains, and Ori finally found some peace after stealing items from Cheshire while she slept. You wrestled with Minka looking on as Billy and Alina spoke in the courtyard. Alina, as the yelling grew noticeable even to you, you turned and saw a small figure wriggling out of the window, and as they dropped onto the cobblestone ground in the courtyard and began to walk quickly away, you noticed orange, grung skin and the unmistakable stature of these small creatures who, upon meeting your gaze, began to dash away. And as you raise your hand, the wind picking up as energy begins to coalesce around your palm, this is where we begin for this evening. So, Alina, go ahead, roll your attack.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I'm not gonna miss. It's gonna be totally fine. Don't worry. Oh no. 14.
Ori dives. No.
Oh, sorry. 13.
13. Okay, no problem. Give me 1 second.
Ori's currently pinned.
Not pinned. We're just
My confidence in the group chat
Locked
earlier
in.
was misplaced.
locked in combat.
All right, let's do. All right, so with a 13, unfortunately, that is a little bit of a miss. And in this moment, you can see the gray hood falls down. You can see the bright orange skin. In the brownstone buildings in the rain, it is stark. And so you can see almost like a highlighter running through the rain down the street. And you can see going along a canal. Give me just 1 second. Why doesn't everybody roll for initiative? This is not for combat. This is for HCs. And then we'll see. There may be some combat involved, but
For
there's
what? It's for.
so it's initiative, and we're not using this strictly speaking for combat. This is beginning a chase.
That's pretty fitting.
For some reason, I'm not finding.
Why didn't this
Pedals
be a
here
chase
too,
like
so
yesterday when I can run like a 20-second mile?
We'll just use this for now.
Don't think Billy's a robot, although.
Dun, dun, dun.
The plot thickens.
So, anybody with a natural 20?
Dirty 20.
Almost.
Whoa.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Is it dirty 20?
Yep.
Dirty 20 for Minka. Anybody 20 to 15?
I'll see you at the
19.
bottom.
19. Okay, there we go. 19 for Cheshire. This is 15 to 10.
13.
13 for Alina.
11.
11 for Billy. Ori, are you joining us?
Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
Oh, and Petal is at 11.
Pedals at 11 too. Great. What about you, Ori?
I'm clocking in at about a 6.
Okay. Okay, not bad. So the way that this shakes out. Give me 1 second here. So Direcroak is going first, which is, I guess, yeah, no, I think it makes sense narratively. And then from there, we are going to move on to Minka, then Cheshire, then Alina, then Billy, then Petal, then literally every other person in Petrichor.
Uh-oh.
And then at the very end, after everybody has had a long rest, Ori is going to go.
Get there.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. It's just, it's all about timing. So no problem. So you watch in this moment, Direcroak. You can now see certainly this individual runs alongside the stream. And at this moment, there are like little paddle ships going by. You can see there's a fast moving carriage with a horse, and Direcroak hops up, and you watch as he grabs onto the edge of the carriage and begins traveling along. Now, for all of you, before we get into your turns, please roll perception checks. And this is going to...
Myself, who are
Well,
locked
I'm in the doorway
combat.
trying to break my way through.
Yeah, I would say roll at disadvantage for the two of you.
Does
as
Petal
you're
get one?
occupied. Yeah, Petal can get one.
All right.
22.
Okay.
Same. Yay. Yay.
16.
16?
Alina's got a 17 and Petal's got a 9.
Okay.
Oh, I beat Petal.
Hey! Are you rolling a d10?
I don't know, maybe.
You might want to check that.
So, the
Oh, this was a
22.
D12.
The two of you who rolled 22s, you really get a good look at things. As time slows down for a moment, the wind picks up. Going by right now, as you all like, for the three of you, the two of you kind of like still stuck in the way, but for the three of you, as you pull up to this canal, There is a ship going by right now, one of these gondolas powered by a sail. You can see there's a soggy banner that hangs off it that says "Buy Oscourt Flutes." Right now, there is somebody just kind of like paddling this down. There is also, at the moment, a pig herder who is moving down along the street. You can see a trio of very large fey pigs. They are all kind of being pushed along as this person like uses a crook to keep them in line. And then with a 22, the two of you notice that there is, as like Dire Croak is like moving on this cart, and you can see he just like waves and goes around the corner. The road descends and moves along with the canal, and down on the bottom, you could, in theory, jump over the edge and catch up much quicker. But at the moment, he's about 70 feet ahead of where you are. Down beneath, Billy and Alina, the two of you can see the canal evens out, widens, and then branches off into many, many different little like coves, almost like cul-de-sacs that are built off canals. So in this moment, Minka, with all of that knowledge, what would you like to do?
Seeing that he was getting away, Minka's just gonna yell, "He's getting away!" and then just sprint after him.
No problem. What is your movement speed?
35.
35, no problem. So are you using your full action to sprint ahead?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just gonna go.
So with that, you hear this, and Minka's already moving. You get the Doppler effect as Minka's just traveling away. One of the pigs squeals as you startle them. But you run by, and you get a pretty good distance up. You get to right around where the corner is, and you can see Dire Croak now only about 15 feet ahead around the corner, but you can see his legs bunching up. It looks like he's getting ready to leap off and kind of disappear into these streets and cul-de-sacs. Minka, that is what you do. Cheshire, what would you like to do? You are now wrestling with Ori. You hear this commotion. You hear Minka yell out, "He's getting away!" But at the moment, you are grappled with Ori. What would you like to do?
I want my stuff.
No.
I want my
He's
stuff.
gonna go. Let me go.
Taking
Stop
my
it.
stuff back.
Okay, go ahead and make a competing athletics checks here. The baby is the best part of this
The
whole
baby
thing.
is laughing.
I'm right here.
Completing athletics checks.
Yeah.
I hope they're both single.
I'm gonna get there eventually.
So you snatch your belongings back from Ori.
All of them? I
Probably.
have all of the stuff.
Yeah, but I would say also this is just very inconvenient timing. What do you have?
Well, I had the flute, all the gold. I think I threw one of the coppers at you.
You only took a platinum.
Or two, yeah, I took two platinum.
You
Two or
only took
three
one.
platinum.
You only took
You grab the flute and the platinum back. No problem.
No.
That is your action. You still have movement and a bonus action. Anything else you would like to do?
I will kind of like curb stomp him a little bit.
Okay.
It has no real effect.
Yeah.
It's just
Flavor curb stomp.
Flavor curb stomp.
Oh, I
Flurp stomp.
still have
stomp,
the
yeah.
pearl.
Like that.
That's right.
Yeah, I still have the pearl.
That's okay. Like you're not on the same team
Pipes
anyways.
of the platinum piece. Those were the things you took
And
back.
I'm gonna stomp off back toward the courtyard.
Okay. Are you going out the window?
No, back the way I came.
Okay, no problem. So you stomp back through the hallways. You can see Minka disappearing, but you go back the long way, no problem. That is your turn. Cheshire, Alina. You see Minka explode off into the distance. What would you like to do?
All right. Telepathically, I say to Petal, who is currently invisible, follow him. Follow him. Don't let him out of your sight.
Okay.
And then, okay, so he's like 70 feet away, you said?
About, yeah.
And if, as the crow flies, there's
There's a little bit of a dip, and so right now you do not have line of sight of him. You see Minka and like the little bits of fabric behind,
Okay.
but really you can't see the cart or carriage at this point.
I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Just movement speed for now.
Sure.
Once I get 30 feet ahead, can I see any better?
No, so you have to get almost all the way. So it's about 60 feet away is this corner. Minka being able to have that 5 extra amount of speed,
Okay.
that's how she's getting there with double movement.
All right, I'll keep running.
Okay, no problem. So you catch up almost to where Minka is around the corner. All of you running at the same time. What is Petal's movement speed?
She's got a 40-foot fly speed.
So is she gonna dash?
Yeah, so Petal is going to use her entire turn to keep up with Dire Croak unless stated otherwise.
So she flies. You can hear the wings buzzing in the back of your mind, and you can see she's just saying, "I'm flying by a building. I'm ducking underneath a sign," and then she gets almost right on top. You actually can almost feel this of air go by you, Minka, and then you hear Petal say, "Should I land on the cart?"
Yeah, you have your own initiative. I don't know why you're doing this right now, but
This is what's happening on her initiative because I assumed that you were done with your turn.
oh yeah, oh sorry, she got left off the list.
No worries.
Okay, and to her I say telepathically as part of all of this, I say just hold on to the cart, follow him. Once he seems to have arrived at whatever his destination is, then pop back to me and let me know.
Okay, I'm holding onto the cart. And
Okay,
you can just
good job.
Yeah, no problem. Let us pedal, and that brings us to Billy. Billy, you are the only person left here. Ori far gone. Oh no, sorry, this is Ori. I wrote Billy twice.
I'm stuck in the.
I'm just used to Billy going real slow because of being dead.
Yeah, Billy's still.
Ori.
But Billy's still
That's
before.
Billy's turn.
Is Billy then everyone and then Ori?
Yeah.
Because I got
No, oh,
Terra.
I see what's going on here. Okay, I put So Billy, because Billy and Petal are the same initiative.
Yeah.
I thought Alina and Petal were the same.
Oh no, okay, that's
There we go. That's the confusion. Okay, Billy, go ahead.
Hi. So you said that if we were to like go over the side, maybe catch up?
Yeah, for sure. Now, going over the side, it's definitely a little bit of a fall.
Yeah.
And so you can see the canal bends slightly downwards and then evens out to a place where it branches off. You could potentially jump down. It's a narrow kind of like way that you would have to go. There's clothing lines and there's like little elements that stretch out between, but you could certainly do it. It's an acrobatics check.
Worth it.
Yeah, go for it. Make an acrobatics check.
By the way, I don't know if it matters, but my speed is 35, not 30.
Oh, it does. Yeah. So you catch up right with Minka.
That's a 15.
Okay. With a 15, you kind of like turn behind you, Alina, a little nervous about Billy because Billy just died. But as you turn, you look and expect to see Billy right there, and you watch as Billy just leaps off the side of the cliff and just disappears. Billy, you see where you're gonna land and you get ready to like tuck and roll, and as you do, your foot stretches behind you as it catches on a clothesline and you fall flat on your face. You skid about 3 feet with your face going across the cobblestone, this like road rash on your chin, and then bloop, right into the canal. You are in the water.
That's not what I thought was gonna happen.
However, you are about 30 feet in front of where the carriage is.
Did I take any damage?
No, you did hit the although not a tremendous amount. You take exactly 1 point of damage.
Sweet.
Go ahead and suffer that. Anything else, Billy?
Yes. Was that my full movement and action?
I'm going to say that's your action and 5 feet of movement.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Billy's going to bite down on her thumbnail and rip it out. And then kind of hold it in her hand and like wait to see the carriage.
Okay, no problem. In the canal, you rip out your thumbnail. You wait, holding it, just feeling the sting from that and your chin. But that's your turn, Billy. Then Petal runs up and gets on the carriage. Ori, you watch as the rain falls down, some grass grows, the paint dries and wets again. What would you like to do?
How far away am I? Because I'm in the doorway of my little room.
Out the window, dashing across the courtyard, that's 60 feet. And then an additional 70 feet further, you can see there is this corner that your companions just ran around. Billy just jumped off a wall and disappeared beneath, only about 80 feet away. You can see the pigs about 100 feet away, the gondola 120 feet away. What would you like to do?
So getting into the courtyard from my room, I would have to jump down.
No, so you're in the ground level. You can boost the window open and climb out.
Oh, and that gets me 60 feet, and then another 80 feet is where I saw everyone just run.
Another 70 feet.
Another 70 feet. Okay. I guess I can get 90 feet movement, dash, bonus action dash. and then standard action dash.
So 90 feet
I
of
guess-
movement, you can catch up to the cart and pass it by 20 feet.
Oh, can I try to jump?
Oh no, sorry. You're not 70 feet away. With 95 feet, if you are going out the courtyard, you get 40 feet away from the corner.
Okay, so do I still not see them?
You actually get to roughly the point where you can see down. So you're almost at the point where you can't see, but you can see down to like where the canal is. I would say you can see Billy holding her own thumbnail.
But I don't see anyone else or the cart.
No.
Okay. Then, yeah, I guess I run the full 90 feet and then...
You turn, you just see Billy like waiting there, and you're like, oh, that sucks. And you just- no problem.
Damn, that's crazy.
following where
Damn,
I
that's
saw.
crazy. That's your
And
turn.
if I see, well, Cheshire went the other way, right?
Yeah,
So as
Cheshire's
I'm
taking
running
a
away, I'm
long
like,
way.
we're not done with this. And then I run after
You
the
yell that to
cart.
an empty room. There's like a confused guy with like a fiddle who's like, oh, and just turns and goes to a different room. But no problem. You're running. That brings us to the top of the round. Petal, who kind of like announces this, and I would say, Billy, you can see this as it's like coming towards you. Minka and Alina from around the corner, you're seeing this from just a little bit away. But the cart moves, continues to go, and you can see Petal just goes, he's punching his legs, and he crouches, and you watch as he just leaps, and he can jump far. He goes about 25 feet, landing on the cobblestone, kind of sliding across the wetness. He turns, he glares at you, probably about 20 feet away, runs,
He sees me in the canal?
He's going to run by you, and so he definitely sees you in the canal.
Okay.
He runs by you, and so he passes you and ends up about 15 feet beyond. You can see he is turning into this cul-de-sac. He's out of breath a little bit. He's not. He's little legs does this grung have, and so he's a little out of breath, but he's like peeling around the corner. Minka,
Yes.
you see this happen from your vantage point, although fading a little bit off and into like the rain.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
All right. So let me just double check the range on this. It is. I'm guessing he's more than 30 feet away from me.
Give me 1 second here. 45. He's definitely more than 40 feet away.
Okay. So I'm going to use my movement to get closer.
Okay.
And then I'm guessing it's still outside that 30-foot range.
You will be 25 feet away if you use 35 feet of movement.
Okay, sweet. I'm going to look at the spot that he's about to stand on, so 5 feet in front of him.
Okay.
And I'm going to use mold earth to make it into rough terrain.
Okay. Fantastic.
So good.
So you can see he's like running, and his like little legs flap, 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 and he's almost like skittering around the corner, almost losing purchase, and then poof, the bricks rise up, and we'll get back to that, I guess, on his turn. It's gonna be interesting. There's like rafts floating in this area, and like you can see there's like one guy who's watching this through like the rain, and he just goes, "Watch out!" And then the dire crow, slow motion's like about to go flying forward, but we'll catch up to that. Anything else, Minka?
I'm just gonna, yeah, I just gonna like vaguely, actually, she like reaches her hand forward, she goes, ah! And then, like trying to communicate that's where he is, but nothing's coming out right.
Fantastic. Minka just expresses air. That is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire. Cheshire, you walk calmly through the halls of the Petrichor's
It's not
Performer
calmly,
Association.
but it's
Angrily.
It's very angrily. Lots of stomping. Lots of huffing.
Yeah.
Inconsiderate. No thought in his head. I'm using just my entire movement to
Okay.
entire turn just to move.
Okay, no problem. You walk through this like area of reflective rooms and people trying to like have this quiet moment to reflect, and you just start making loud noises. There are people who are like crying, mourners who have lost loved ones, and then you just bang through. Inconsiderate. No problem. You make it to the kind of entryway, and you can see beyond this like tall elven figure, maybe like 30 feet away from the entry, like looking out at this commotion that is happening beyond. And you see also, maybe like 50 feet away, Ori, who's like just trying to catch up to the rest of the action. That is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to Alina, and then Billy, and then Petal.
All right. How far ahead of me is Direcrow?
Oh, this is killing me.
That jumpy little bastard.
Okay, so
So I was at the carriage.
correct. So the carriage moves 45 feet. He jumps 25 feet and moves 15. 40, It's 85 feet in total. So he's 85 feet away from where you are right now.
All right.
Which does mean, actually, Minka, if it matters, you could be 5 feet closer.
I would probably get as close as I could to make sure I could get the spell in front of him.
Okay, so as you're running, Minka like slips and catches up to where you are. Okay.
I'm gonna yell, "Stop!" and then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast him.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
That's gonna be 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I'm rolling good tonight. Let's see. So that's 14 points of Eldritch Blast damage.
Very nice. So you reach out, and as you see, he's like about to hop and lands, and he's about to run away. Minka, the bricks go up, and as he's flying end over end, and you hear Minka like slow motion in the back of your mind, just going. You fire this Eldritch Blast, which parts the rain in front of you, and it strikes him, knocking him like into the difficult terrain. You can see he's about to like topple end over end onto the street. Anything else, Alina?
Telepathically, I remind Petal that her only job right now is to follow Dire Croak and not let him out of her sight.
Got it. Billy, what would you like to do?
So I was 30 feet in front of the cart.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
We're all at different points. So I'm now.
He's only about 10 feet beyond you.
Only we had
You can
all
see,
right.
you get like, so from
Is
where
it an action to get out of the
I
canal?
was like doing like the
huh?
Is it an action to get out of the canal?
It's half movement to get out of the canal.
Half move and get out of the canal. That's fine. I'm going to get out of the canal.
You climb up.
And then Billy's going to pull out her panpipes and pipe a tune that sounds a little bit aggressive and maybe a bit terrifying to anyone listening to it. It's not enjoyable.
Okay.
It's like something that would be played at the climax of Hereditary.
It sounds a lot like Ori's flute music in the Goblins.
Oh god.
And cast Hideous Laughter.
Fantastic.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
That is going to be a grand total of 5.
Falls prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration, which is 1 minute.
Okay. This is
and-
going to be very interesting. All 3 of these things happening at the same time.
And Billy gets up close to him and puts the fingernail in one of his pockets.
Okay. We're going to get back to that in a second. That's fantastic. Billy, you, as you like place that back in, Alina, what you are hearing is, okay, I'm going to catch up to him. Flies over and goes, oh, Billy's here too. Billy just took off. Ugh. And then you just hear like a little bit of gagging and then just 1 second. And like Petal flies away a little bit, takes care of business. Anything else you want Petal to do?
Nope, just eyes on Dire Croak. If he gets away, her instructions are to follow.
Yeah, you can hear Petal like splash canal water into her face,
Yeah.
and she's like, I'm right there.
You're okay, take a minute.
That is Petal's turn. That brings us to Ori. Ori, you are far away from the action. You can hear this commotion happening, and you can kind of hear like stopping and people like murmuring behind you. What would you like to do?
So I'm like 60 feet away from the corner.
55
ran
feet away from the
90.
corner. If you want to use the hypotenuse, I'm kidding. Yeah, the corner is about 55 feet away.
Okay. Movement and bonus action to run up to the corner.
Okay.
Do I see Dire Croak?
From this vantage point, you're seeing it right as the bricks out, the Eldritch Blast hits him in the back, and Billy hits him with this spell where he begins, like, he's in the air as the spell takes effect, so he's, like, beginning to laugh even as he's not quite hit the ground from all of the other blows yet. So this is all hitting him right at once. That's what you see.
Cool. I'm going to add to that by trying to pin his leg with a shot with my arrows.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Synergy except for Cheshire.
And is it sneak attack? Because he probably doesn't know that I'm trying to kill him.
I don't think so.
I'm not trying to kill him. I'm specifically trying to pin his foot.
Yeah, I don't think it's a sneak attack.
That's like a 12.
That's a miss, unfortunately. As you shoot, there's just too much happening here. He is just getting lit up. And in fact, is that anything, you doing anything else?
That's everything.
Okay.
Besides trying to mess up Billy's smell.
This is like, yeah. So in this moment, as you
I don't know it.
the earth rises up almost like
150 feet away.
see him projected up into the air, and as he's tossed up almost like a t-ball, Alina, your force blast hits him projected forwards, and as he does, the last thing that you hear before he into the water is and he disappears laughing. He emerges like coughing, laughing, half of his movement to like try to climb out, but he just falls back in still laughing, and the current just kind of like carries him maybe 10 more feet into this little like it's almost like a dead end in the canal, like where you would keep boats, although actually there's one raft that takes up most of the space. He's just like laughing and choking at the same time. That's, I think he's, because he can't move, right? Incapacitated. So yeah,
Nice.
He laughs and chokes. That is his turn. Minka, you were only oh god, this is I wanted to do a map, but it was so big that when I was measuring out the table, it just didn't work. And it's like last night we had the biggest map that we could literally fit on the table. But
Spacious.
yeah, but Minka, you are approximately, oh god, this is killing me now. I believe you are 35 feet away from where he is, with him around the corner. I don't think you can quite see him.
Okay.
But he's in the canal just a little bit around the corner.
Okay. I think Minka's seeing him splash in a canal. She's gonna be like, canal! And just run forward to where she thinks he is.
Okay.
And does she like find him?
He's over there. Canal! Is the entirety of what Minka says for this combat. You rush around the corner and like skidding on your foot. You can see, he's like laughing. You can hear him first. He's laughing, and then he like bobs under the water and comes back up, still laughing and choking because he cannot stop to hold his breath as he like gets carried under. He like hits his head into this raft and like kind of starts twirling around it, still laughing. And there's like a dead end, maybe like 10 more feet on.
Okay, so he's going towards a dead end. She remembers that he's very poisonous, so she's not gonna try to touch him, but she's gonna move forward, but stay next to the canal. In a thought of like, if he starts to drown, can Crocus drown? If he starts to drown, she'll try to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
But she's not gonna do anything else.
No problem. Yeah, he's definitely like
Strong
coughing,
as
so it's a
frog.
good idea that you be ready. So, Minka, you are on lifeguard duty. Not to worry. Cheshire, you stomp angrily through this place. You reach the entrance. What do you want to do?
Having seen Ori ahead of me, quick in pace, but still rumbling and stomping.
Okay, no problem. With your full movement, that brings you up to like roughly the beginning of this chase. Cheshire has now reached you know what really bothers me though? You're gonna get to the point where you can like see all the way down, and I know you're gonna do something that is gonna mess everything that I'm doing up. But no problem. You get up to the start line. That is Cheshire's turn. That brings us to Alina. Alina, you hear Petal talk about like this guy getting splashing into the canal. What do you want to do?
So I'm so sorry, Joe. So can I see where he is in the canal?
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. You guys are killing me with the distance. And actually, that's my fault. I am learning about chases now. I haven't done it before. I like chases. I haven't done it. This is why. So you currently, you were like almost on par with Minka, I believe. And so that means much like her, about 20, 25 feet around the corner, and then like 10 feet beyond is where he is floated after like caroming off of this raft.
Okay, so he's headed for a dead end.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go down to like, I guess the like, not the curb. What do you call it when it's water? Like the shore?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call that. The edge of the canal.
Yeah. And so how close am I to him if I'm standing right on the edge of the water?
Well, now there's like the raft, and the raft is like pretty wide, but like 10 feet, 15 feet.
Can I walk out on the raft?
Yeah, it's like literally right up against the stone. So you can right on there. It's tied up. There's nobody on it. So
All right.
like, yeah.
I walk out onto the raft. Can I reach him?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to grab him by the clothing, not touching his skin.
Okay.
And just haul him up onto the raft and just like put my foot on him and just lean.
So despite the fact that well, hang on, let me just look at incapacitator really quick. Because if he can resist, he will, but otherwise you can just grab him right up.
Yeah. I don't want him to drown. We gotta question him.
Can't take actions or reactions. Because an athletics check is not, it's a contested check is not a reaction. So make an athletics check, he's going to take it at a disadvantage because
He's also prone and unable to stand up for the
but he's in
duration.
the water. He's not prone. He's just kind of floating.
Athletics, you
Hideous
said?
laughter makes you prone.
And I think you're
He's
hooking him up
floating
there.
on his back.
You got an 8, so
I got a 5.
oh, unfortunate. So you go to grab him, and as he's like laughing, you go and reach, and you almost like touch him right in the chest, and then you remember like that killed somebody, and you're like, whoa. And Minka, you see Alina almost grab, and part of that is you like keeping like trying to grab on a little bit, but yeah, you let go. He doesn't get any further away, but you're not able to grab him.
Have I eaten up my action at this point?
I would say that's your action.
yeah, okay.
When you make a skill check, usually that's an action.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna be like, even though that just happened, I'm gonna be like, end of the line, Dire Croak.
And he's just like, and just like chokes on the water again, like almost submerging. Billy, what would you like to do?
Billy runs up behind Alina and just kind of like looms over her and reaches down and attempts to
There
tie
you
her.
go. Yeah,
grab
go
him the
for it.
same way.
Okay, wait a minute. 14.
Fuck, it's a 7.
All right.
You're
no
not
problem.
strong.
You go to grab him again, and this time you go and grab him, and he sinks underwater, and you wait for him to come up laughing, and he doesn't, and you're like, wait, and then like maybe 5 feet away, this is the same distance, just a little bit over, like pops back up, and just a little bit out of your reach. Anything else, Billy?
Bonus action. Can I see Ori or Cheshire?
No.
All right. Bonus action. I'm gonna look over at Minka and it's like, don't you have spells for this? And somehow inspire Minka to find something.
Bardic intimidation. No problem.
Billy's specialty.
Yeah, you have inspiration, quote unquote. Billy, that's your turn.
Yes.
That brings us to Petal. Any difference for Petal?
Yeah, so Petal has a swim speed.
Yeah.
And she's at this point, Petal's like, well, I'm sticking with him, but he's just right there. And so she sees us both try to like get him out of the water and fail. So she is very small, but she's gonna do her best and
love that.
yeah, go into the water and just grab onto his clothing and then just
Petal beats the skill
Yeah,
check.
I know, me too. It's just like, oh.
an athletics check for the tiny sprite.
Yeah, it's only a 10. It was a natural 20 and then much lower. So,
Oh!
11.
11, there you go. So, Petal,
Minus
all
4
of
to
you
strength.
failing, unable to grab. When the dire croak is like dragged underneath the water for a second, and Billy, you can't quite find them, it's because that was Petal right into the water, grabs onto dire croak, brings him like a couple inches underneath deeper, and then comes back up. And for a moment, it's just like invisible, and dire croak like lifting a little into the air before the invisibility breaks with the interaction. And you see Petal like red in the face, all the muscle. This is like, you remember the picture that came out with Beyonce? It is Petal, just like as hard as she can, the wings, like really almost like creating smoke. But she is just barely like an inch above water, holding Dire Croak in place. Phenomenal. I love that.
I'm so proud of Petal.
That is Petal. Ori, what would you like to do?
So do I see Dire Croak now floating?
They're around the corner from the building. You can see.
Wait, there's another corner?
Yes.
It's all
So
road
right
goes
now,
like this.
you are literally at a place where
okay.
there's like a building, there's a gap, and you can see the canal underneath. You can see all the little areas, but they have gone into one of those little like dead end cul-de-sacs.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna run to the cul-de-sac corner
Okay.
that I saw them like get. Well, he got
That's about
tossed into
90
the
feet
water
away,
down.
right angle.
90 feet and then the right
45.
Okay, so I'll run the 45 feet.
You run the 45.
Then I can see.
Now you can see broken cobblestones. You can see like a lot of like smoke and debris, but they are literally 10 feet around the corner that is 45 feet away.
Okay. And then I see, like, is he just basically getting pulled up by nothing?
You can't see that, but yes.
Okay. So I can't see them.
You cannot see them now. They are 45 feet away. You do not know that technically. As far as you see, when you turn around the corner, you see debris that indicates probably a fight or combat happening, but no people.
Can I move the next 15 feet and see them?
No, because again, straight away, 45 feet, and then a right angle, and then 10 feet beyond that,
Right, but I ran the 45
There's
feet.
another corner.
and then that's the first corner.
Yeah.
45 more feet, another corner. They are right here.
I
You
thought it
are
was
right
the
here.
10
No, no,
feet.
no, no.
I thought it was 45 feet, right corner, 10 feet, and
No,
then
no,
right
no.
there.
45 feet, corner, 45 feet, corner in the opposite direction.
Gotcha.
Chase scene, high stakes,
There
go.
we go. What do you-
Okay, so then I'm going to run the full 90 feet to get to
There
the
you
last
go.
corner.
And as you get to that last corner and you round it 10 feet beyond, chaos. You see Petal like almost like just popping a blood vessel. Everybody else looks wet and a little bit ashamed for some reason. And that's what you see.
I can't do it, but I'm going to start knocking an arrow.
No problem. So with that brings us to the top of the round.
Dire Crow can make a save.
Okay. What is the save against?
That's to get out of my spell attack DC. It's to get out of the
Gotcha.
thingamajig.
Okay. That is a... What kind of save? Sorry.
Wisdom.
That is a 14.
Fuck. Meets it. That's
There you go.
the
Pizza
thing.
pizza?
Not pizza, but
He stops laughing now, like looking up at Petal, and he's just like, what the fuck? And like this tiny little creature, he's small, but she is really small. And so this like kind of makes no sense to him. But he regains his composure a little bit, and he's gonna just try to swat her down. That is going to be a 19 to hit, which I imagine does. It's an unarmed strike, and he's not proficient, so I believe that's just his strength modifier +1. So that's 2 points of damage.
Pedals down.
Disappears, and then right back into the canal, and just again, the passive water carries him 10 feet, and he just right into the end of. He's like at the dead end. I guess technically action, and then his movement.
silver barbs.
You got to do more than say just those words.
When a creature you can see succeeds on an attack roll ability check or saving throw, you can magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another creature.
Okay.
So, you have to roll the d20 again and use
Okay.
the lower roll.
Okay. That is higher, so
Fuck.
yeah.
And then you can then choose a different creature you can see within range. I don't know if that is effective if they roll a higher roll.
I don't think so.
Cool,
But
we're gonna
we'll
say
check
so.
later. So no problem.
It's a really good try.
Good try. Very good try. I like it. So he is going to climb out of this and just like choking, barely breathing because he's like coughing out water. You actually see for a second he looks up at all of you and just goes. And he like sticks his fingers down his throat and just water comes out. And he is like on his knees at the end. And he's just like, wait a second. And he's just like coughing. On his hands and knees, prone for all mechanical purposes, but he is just like choking on the ground there. At the very end of his turn, he like stands up, very, very shaky, but that's his turn. Minka, what would you like to do?
Are the buildings here made of stone?
Yes, they're made of brownstone for the most part, and a couple just like gray cobbles.
Minka's saying a turn and see Ori and see that like we're mostly here, and then she's gonna turn to the stone and then walk to the side that like protrudes out towards people.
Okay.
She's gonna put her hand on the wall and put the seal symbol of their group onto the wall
Okay.
with mold earth.
Fantastic. So you like go around the corner, you can see all this action happening. Petal like strains so hard that she just explodes. You see like all of this happening, you're like, me too, I'm gonna contribute. Bang, you tag the wall.
Yeah.
No problem. Anything else?
She's gonna turn around again and just look at the situation and go, don't move.
There's like a merchant caught in like the rain, soggy. They have like a donkey and a horse and like some goods, and they're just like bewildered as you like this little like raised emblem comes out. The donkey kind of like neighs back a little bit, but no problem. That exists now. Anything else?
I'm gonna yell at Diarcroak, don't move, but just to yell at him. There's
Okay.
nothing mechanical happening.
No
there.
problem. He's like hands still on his knees. And he's like, I cannot. Give me a second. But that's Minka's turn, Cheshire. You are far away from this combat. However, you are right at the start line. About 20 feet ahead, you can see where Ori jumped away. Or sorry, Ori didn't jump. Billy jumped, so you have no idea. There's a street in front of you, and it turns around to the right side. You can see a very mystified-looking gondolier who's turning around the bend right now. Yeah.
Angrily stomping still. All of these slow people that I have to work with, they're not even here yet. And then there's Ori. And just marching.
I like the idea that Cheshire, in her mind, is the only person doing this chase. No problem. So you stop. You get up to this very, very corner. Are you just going normal movement speed? Yeah. Okay, never mind then. You get about halfway.
Using my entire action.
I got you.
All that to do so, but
no problem. So with and your movement speed is 35, 30? 30. So you move 60 feet. You get just up to this corner, and then 20 feet beyond, you can see like Ori disappear right up to the corner.
Running away, is he?
You can see he's like climbing over this like broken bit of cobblestone that looks like it's jutting out weirdly. But that is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to you, Alina. You can now see maybe like 15 feet away from you. You're standing on the raft, but 15 feet away on the cobblestone is Diarcroak. He's like choking. He has his hands on his legs. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna Misty Step so that I'm like really close to him. Just like, phoom. Hi.
Okay, like right in front of him?
Like right in front of him.
Phenomenal. So, hi. And you can see he just goes, and he like he falls back on his butt, like looks up at you, big eyes. What are you doing?
I'm gonna say, do you yield? And then I guess I'll like put my foot on his chest because that seems to be Alina's favorite move, and we'll go from there.
So in this moment, he's just like, and he like can't even answer. He's like choking. But after just a second, he just like, he's sitting there, you have your foot on his chest, and he just looks up and he says, just give me 1 second.
Take all the time you need.
So, brief pause in this combat. You have your foot in his chest. He's like coughing. He's wheezing. He like throws up a little bit more water. And then finally you can hear him like gain a little bit like of a semblance of in and out. I would say in that time, everybody, if you wish, can like kind of get up to this point. Like, oh. You're finally there with your, like, oh, guess not.
Billy looks at Alina's. Do you have any like rope left in your bag?
Probably. I got a new one. Ding, ding. I have 60 feet now, so I'm like, ding, 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 ding.
I just needed like a little bit. Okay.
Well, here you go. Take the whole thing.
All right.
I don't like when people cut my rope up.
And Billy like, okay, and like just contaminates the whole thing by attempting to tie him up.
So you're going to try to tie him up?
Yep.
Cool.
Is Ori approaching?
Rope.
Huh?
How close
You
is
gave
Ori
her
getting?
I made it all the way up at that
Alina's just
point.
going to be
10 feet away,
constantly
but yeah, you
looking
can
for new
definitely make it all
rope
the way
all
up
the
if you
time.
Well, yeah, I
Hand me the
mean,
long
because
rope.
I had just rounded the corner and saw it all happening, and then I'm like,
No problem. You're right
catch
there.
up.
So as soon as Cheshire gets within eyesight of Ori, and then I'm assuming sees just the chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Instant snap reflex, Nather's mischief.
Okay.
The little 20-foot cube I can see within range with Ori as the center.
Phenomenal. So if Ori is in fact in the middle of this kind of like combat, that means everybody is within this cube.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, roll the effect, and then we'll see
Tie him
how
up
it is.
beforehand.
This seems to all be happening at the same time. So
like
we'll see what the effect is. It might help you, and it might hurt.
After.
What is it? This spell is you have to roll for what it does.
Yeah.
Within
mischief.
this 20-foot cube, bouquets of flowers appear all around, and each creature in the cube must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be blinded until the start of your next turn. As
Phenomenal.
the flowers spray water in their faces.
Trying to think.
Dex? Oh no.
What's the D?
Is this a magical effect? Is my magical resistance?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is magical.
Spell save is
16?
Meets a pizza.
You said which?
15.
16. Okay. Diarcroak succeeds.
You said 15? Okay, I got 16. And then does Petal have to make this stupid
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, Petal's dead, so she doesn't.
Oh, Petal's dead. I forgot. Oh no. Alina is not nice to
Billy,
her
how'd you do?
summons.
Billy rolled a 2 on the die.
Ooh. Billy, you reach down easy. This is going to be to tie up Dire Croak. Alina has him pinned with a hoof. You go down, and as you bend down, you blink, and when you open your eyes, black. There is nothing. You go completely blind. However,
Flower
it
just starts spraying
smells
water in your face.
great.
So I do see the flower spray water in my face.
No, you like close your eyes right before you get no flowers. Not only do you get blinded, you don't even get to see what blinds you.
Does Billy have an inkling about why this is happening?
It smells really good all of a sudden, and that's pretty weird. And when weird things happen, there's usually one person involved.
Probably Dire Croak's poison.
I'm going to murder all of you.
The effect of the poison.
So,
Minka also failed. So
unfortunate. You also blinded by
Yeah.
these flowers. You're okay, however. So for this moment, Alina, it is you and Dire Croak in a field of flowers.
Yeah.
Billy like looking around, Minka looking around, like holding on to the crest that she just created. You can see the merchant has quickly turned around and now walking in the other direction.
Billy just kind of like holds the rope up
Grab
and
the
says,
rope.
"Here."
Grab the rope. I tie it.
Yeah, you can see too. All right,
Yeah.
so-
Dire Croak from the ground. He just goes, wait, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do
The
that.
effect does continue for a minute,
Okay.
and each
Do you have to
round I
keep
can
making
roll and
saves?
keep.
Okay.
go on. Why don't we want to do that?
Well, if that's what we're going to do, then we're just going to have to drop back into initiative in order for it to make sense. Because that is what it is. So, no problem. We're going to start off with Dire Croak. He is pinned by you. Roll that effect as it changes, and we'll say that this is the environmental effect for this combat. So, on initiative order 20.
Drops of molasses hover in the cube, making it difficult terrain until the start of my next turn.
Phenomenal. So as he's like pinned and he's like, no, you don't want to do that. You're like, go ahead, tell us why. And he goes, it's simple. Like, right onto his face, and he goes,
Are we still blind, or are we no longer?
Yeah.
It goes away.
yeah. The effects every like round, I think it changes.
now we're just sneaky.
He just like once the sight comes back, tries to find Cheshire on the battlefield, and just like, really?
But you can see he's just like, you don't what's happening. And then go ahead and roll that again. We'll say, just yeah, why not?
Back to the flowers.
Back to the flowers. Everybody make one more save.
Meets a pizza.
Got a much higher than before.
19.
Billy's learned 16.
Minka's not learned.
Minka is the only one. Blind. Slow blind. It's a rough time for Minka. But
What's happening?
Minka, there's a point where you're like, maybe this is karma. But no problem. Flowers explode back into the field, and you can hear Dire Croak, who just goes, this is really fucking confusing, but what I'm trying to say is you should never follow somebody from the Merkin draw. And in this moment, through the rain and the chaos that is happening with Cheshire, you can hear croaking. And let me go ahead and get a little visual for all of you.
Did we get a chance to tie him up in the
No,
3
because of
rounds?
Cheshire. Thank you, Cheshire.
You're welcome.
I might need a little help, and we might probably need to clear it.
Chester continues to be a chaotic force no one can predict or control.
Well, I guess actively harming me isn't necessarily helping anyone.
To be fair, it is Ori's fault.
It is all somehow back to Ori.
Matt, provide assistance.
So this is north, so we want that facing. And this is relatively heavy, so I probably need a couple
Alright,
more
I got
hands.
this side.
And I do need to make a few quick changes because you guys actually caught him a little bit earlier than I thought.
Oh, we did it. Oh, it's
The water's so glittery.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do for water.
It looks good.
Dire Croak is currently pinned down right here. These guys are still back
I
here.
was hoping that I would just have buildings.
There's Alina and Billy.
I was was there.
I'm gonna be looking at the screen a lot.
Because I was helping Alina time up.
Stuck on the
Mika
table.
is just like blindly walking here with the merchant, and then Cheshire, you are over here on the corner, causing mischief. So, bring up our close up. We have a city.
Indeed. Oh wow. Yeah. I'm gonna move.
Do you hope that we
Slide
live?
towards Matt.
So everybody is here. We're going to drop back into initiative order.
Push that corner towards Matt a little.
Let me go ahead and change up our.
Matt, there's a roll of tape or something that's kind of in the way. Thank you.
Push another one. Okay.
I think
That's about as
maybe
good
as
as
good
it's
as we're
gonna
gonna get. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big battlefield. So, again, at Alberon RPG, you can see much more closely.
It's so amazing, you guys.
There's like
Make sure you follow us on
right at
socials.
the edge here, and buildings like over
At the
there.
moment,
There's
you
a
can
little
see
kitty on the roof.
there's a lot of stuff here. So. What you can see at this moment, right next to Cheshire, there is a big, Wandering Heart's crest that is now, protruding from the stone. The space directly to the right of Cheshire is the difficult terrain stone that that Alana made. Alana, you did a great job as a druid. That Minka made. You can see the cube that is kind of filling the space, gets a little bit into the canal itself, and then spreads over the rest of the party. And the croaking that you're hearing is coming from Grung. Much more than one. And actually, at this point, you can see behind Direcroak, there's a few who are holding tankards of ale who come out of the first floor. You see on the second floor of that building directly above, there's a bunch who are sitting around a table who stand up and begin walking over towards the edge. Up on the roof of this building itself, you actually see a Grung peer over the edge before dipping back down. And then up on the left, right above where you guys are, you hear ribbiting coming as well. There may even be more, but at the moment, that is what you can see. That is, I will say, that is Direcroak's turn, and that brings us to Minka. Now, before we start, question for all of you. Does it make sense to take a break now and then drop into combat?
I think so.
Probably.
So, Minka, we're going to pick up with you in 10 minutes. It is 8:01. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll be back, and we'll start this off at 8:12. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Hi.
And welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us through the break. Let's jump right back into combat. So, Minka, we are starting with you, followed by Cheshire, followed by Alina, followed by Billy, followed by, not Petal, followed by Ori, and then top of the round is Direcroak and company. But for right now, Minka, what would you like to do?
So does the blind wear off just at the beginning of the turn, or do I have to make a save?
Save at the end of a turn? Well, I don't know. It's your spell.
How blinded am I?
It changes at the beginning of my turn,
So
and there's not an extra save.
okay, so I'm just blinded.
Blind.
Okay, so blinded.
There you go.
Thank you. Where am I? Here I am. I guess I'm just gonna reach out to see if there's anyone of my friends near me.
Okay.
Kind of swing my arms around and be like, guys?
So swing your arms around. You feel your left arm thuds into the chest of this merchant who is trying to hurry away from this combat, and you just hear "Hey!" and you hear as this horse like kind of skitters back from you a little bit, but you are right in front of this guy.
Oh, sorry. And I'm just gonna cast guidance on the merchant as an apology.
Okay, so there's this like arcane little jolt, and you can hear him just go "Ugh!" And he kind of brushes you off a little bit. The horse whinnies and backs away a little bit more, but he pulls it and he goes, "Come on, guys!" And he just starts hurrying past the raft.
That's it, because everything else needs line of sight.
Phenomenal, no problem. No sight to be had. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
At the beginning of my turn, it shifts. Each creature in the cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or begin giggling until the start of my next turn.
Oh, lovely.
What
A
kind
giggling
of
creature, a wisdom saving.
Direcroak starts to giggle.
Made it.
Natural 20 when it doesn't really matter.
I'm sorry, what kind of throw? Wisdom. And this is all still magic, right? Magical effects?
Yeah.
Nice. 16.
DC 15?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. We're good. Okay. Direcroak fails. Begins to giggle on the ground underneath your hoof, Alina. Anything else, Cheshire?
Giggling creature is incapacitated and uses all of its movement to move in a random direction.
Love that.
And Cheshire is going to see this madness kind of unfolding and find a place to hide.
Okay, no problem. Invisible is Cheshire. And also, Tina. No problem, that is Cheshire's turn. That brings us to you, Alina.
Okay, so under my foot, Direcroak is trying to move now.
Yeah, he's like squirming a little bit, just trying to wriggle, but then all of a sudden kind of stiffens and then just starts wriggling in like a whole different way. Definitely affected by whatever's happening around him.
Okay, and there's guys all over.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys.
A lot of guys. You can hear this ribbit and croaking. From where you are, you can see at least 6 of them in front of you.
I'm going to. What did he say? You should never chase someone in the what's-a-what's-a?
Somebody from the Merc and Drop.
Do I know what that is?
As an action, would you like to make a history check?
Fine.
Yeah, go for it.
What a waste.
This is from the Feywild, so you do, if you have a bonus for that, you do get it. Is that just Ori?
That's just Ori.
Unfortunate.
I don't pass. I can't math, but I rolled a 6 on the die, so it's not.
Mercandraw sounds like a shady place.
All right. Can I? All right. So I keep my foot on him. Actually, for my movement, can I like sit on him?
Yeah, sure, no
Okay.
problem.
I'm gonna sit on him just so I can really like hold him down. And then as a free action, I'm gonna yell out. If you know what's good for you, you'll all stay back. We just want to talk.
Okay.
I'm gonna be really intimidating.
You would probably want to use an action to do that.
Oh,
next
yeah,
time.
right. Action. Okay, but I just say it.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. You say it in an intimidating fashion.
Yeah.
That is your turn, Alina. Billy, what would you like to do?
Billy's gonna spend that action to cast Fiendish Figure, and that's False Life for 1d4 plus 4 temp
Very
HP.
nice.
Billy's trying to learn shit. That's 6 temp HP to Billy.
Yeah, Billy, not really looking forward to going back to that dark place. You instead opt to give yourself a little bit more health up front. You look back at Minka. She doesn't seem to be looking at you right now.
And then bonus action hex on Dire Croak.
Very nice. I think you guys have my hex at the moment.
I gave it back to you. It's in a
gave you a
pile
whole
next
pile.
to your.
Oh yeah, I got.
Remember, she like was trying not to look.
Hunter's
There's
mark.
nothing
We'll
back
use that
there.
for.
Oh, it's hex, not Hexblade's curse.
hex text.
Do you want to trade?
Keep that because I imagine that's going to come out again at some point.
Just might.
Yeah.
Just might.
So no problem. Dire Croak, the one laying down that orange groan, he is hexed.
Now he has a beautiful ring.
These shadows around him, they seem to almost crawl through the cobblestones and latch
And
onto
you should
him.
have put a ring on it.
Anything else, Billy? Anything else, Billy?
Oh, that's it. That's
That
all.
is your turn, Billy. Ori, from where you are, there is just chaos unfolding around you. What would you like to do?
I would like to use my eye for detail and try to suss out any hidden creatures that might be. Because I've heard this croaking.
Make a perception check, no problem.
I want to try to size up the situation here before I make any big actions. It's gonna be a it's pretty good. 19.
So, with a 19, you get the sense that the majority of them directly in front of you. You see 3 that are up along that walkway. There is at least 2 more that are underneath. You spot, like, off and across the canal, there is one who is, like, coming out of the house that is right at the bottom. And then you hear up on the very top of the roof this croaking, and you can tell there's at least one more grung on the roof of this primary grung building. And then up directly above you, you get the sense that there's maybe 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you just feel a lot for it?
It just happened.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna use my action to time up with the rope.
Okay.
And then
So what was your eye for detail, that perception check?
that was bonus action.
Bonus action, okay. So bonus action is going to be to tie him up with the rope.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I'm holding him down.
do
Does
I-
that help?
and
Yeah,
is he
make it at advantage. Make it at
incapacitated?
advantage.
The
You know what?
doctor.
No problem. If he's incapacitated, he's held down by Alina. The hardest part is really like because he is physically held down to the ground, you have to like slide the rope underneath him and then tie it up. But no problem.
And then as part of the action, can I like hoist him onto my shoulder?
No.
I forgot to
such a good
mention
try,
which check was. It's going to be a Constitution disadvantage.
Okay. Dire Croak, Constitution disadvantage.
He's tied up. now.
Anything else, Ori?
Nope, he's tied up, and I'm getting
Nice
ready
bow.
to hoist him on my next turn.
Okay. You bend your knees, not your back, and you really get ready. That is your turn.
Go, she'll be
Ori,
proud.
Hoisting position, yeah.
that brings us to the top of the round. So, starting at the very, very top, there is this chieftain-looking grung. Most of you cannot see him. Ori is aware that he's up there from his check, but you can hear this loud ribbiting, louder than the others, and it seems to reverberate off the brownstone buildings. The little puddles of water seem to almost vibrate where they are, and then you hear the echoing get louder. It seems to fill these grung with confidence. The 3 that are up on this walkway, looking down, 2 of them are going to shoot at. Actually, no, Ori, you're tying them up, huh? They're all going to shoot at you.
And
Yeah. So, Ori.
Alina's got her hoof on his chest.
I'm sitting on him, but they're aiming at you because you did the tying.
Ori, that is a. The high one is a 24.
Yep,
The next highest one is a 18.
yep.
And then the next highest one is a 7.
Nope.
Phenomenal. So, Ori, you take 4 points of piercing damage plus
Oh, they're like
3 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
Ding, ding, these little arrows, they're small creatures, and so the arrow's not quite full size, but they do hurt. And you would imagine getting too many of them would not be a good thing. That is the top 3 up there. That brings us down to the bottom 2 green ones. Ori, from underneath that little, like right next to the market stall, there's 2 underneath. I got it. Build this battlefield. No. This is easier for me.
those two.
Would you say that you built the city?
I just can't see the
And
ones on this side.
what genre of music would you say you built the city on?
Rock.
You guys forget, I don't know music, so this means nothing.
No, it's okay. We're entertaining ourselves.
These two rush forwards, and you can hear this loud as they thrust spears forwards. And with you there, Billy, they're both going to attack you.
Makes sense.
Billy, that is going to be a 19 to hit
Yep.
and a 10 to hit.
No.
Billy, you are going to take 6 points of piercing damage, and you can go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
It's an 8.
Billy, you look around, and as the rain falls down, you are ever so grateful, because what does rain make but mud? And you feel like you need to be submerged in mud.
God damn it.
Must submerge yourself in mud. In fact, you cannot do anything on your next round until you find some mud and submerge yourself in it. But Billy, as you look around, there is one big problem with that. There is almost entirely cobblestone and canal in this place.
What about like a pile of wet horse poop?
I would say you might be. There are horses around the corner, for what it's worth.
Horses. Okay. We do
That
awesome when
is
there's horses
the
around.
ones who are down there.
Consistency of mud.
There is one who is up on that little porch area, and he's going to lean over the side and then shoot down at you,
This
Minka.
No.
No. Yeah, right there. Minka, that is a 17 to hit. You are going to take 6 points of piercing damage. And then finally, just get him.
Nope.
Oh, that's actually extremely helpful. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Oh, I moved him out. He's not even under there.
Well, guess he doesn't exist anymore.
We have seen nothing. Nothing has been seen.
I don't know. I gotta just peek. I know there's at least one more somewhere. Well, we're not gonna worry about him. One of them got scared and ran away, I guess.
Yeah.
Hooray. Oh, they heard me be threatening.
That's what it was.
Yeah, yes.
He was in the toilet.
It was
He
his
was
first
like,
day on the job, yeah.
Here's you.
Gone. All right. So that is all of the grung. That brings us to you, Minka. Minka, this arrow sinks into your shoulder. You can kind of tell it comes from above you.
Quitting.
What would you like to do? You are no longer blind.
Yay! Okay, getting hit by something, looking around, seeing other people being hit by something, like, oh, not again! Chalice form!
This entire little alleyway with this starlight, it reflects off the wet stones, the wet cobblestones. Billy, your mud quest is going to be even harder now, but it is brilliant, and you are in chalice form.
I imagine like a magical girl transformation sequence, but Minka's just so upset about the fact that it's always chalice form. It's just like,
The spinning is with like stopping. Yeah, absolutely. Anything else, Minka?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Minka.
Face transformation sequence.
Hold on, I just want to double check that it's a bonus action or an action
worries.
to do this. I believe it's a bonus action.
I think so. Because wild shape is. Oh no, sorry. We're doing something different.
Okay, and then I'm going to look at the most unfortunate looking grung, which I'm going to assume is going to be one of the ones up. And I'm just going to cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay. One of the ones along that walkway.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead and
Blue
make your
one.
attack roll. Sure, there's two blue. I'll figure the one all the way on the left.
Oh, they are both blue.
It's like a gradient.
There's two purple and a blue.
Oh,
Sorry, two blue and a purple.
the brightest blue one.
It's gone from a meme song to like a prophecy.
Does a 19 hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Okay. Really, 4d6.
again.
I mean, to be fair, she struck the first time too.
Us again.
She does a lot of striking now that
Listen,
I'm thinking about it.
we don't want to. We're not going to talk about this right now.
Yeah, we're over there.
How many are with us?
15.
A 15 or 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage.
Okay.
Just these three?
So,
Yeah, there's none for that. I can see.
And he was still alive.
There's
He's
one on the
glowing.
Oh, there's two.
he is in fact glowing. This glowing bolt of radiant energy, it's like you pull elements of the celestial star form away and fling it forwards. And it streaks through the rain and strikes this grung. It burns elements of the skin away, and you can see as the skin peels away and reveals like the sort of like grung amphibian flesh underneath. The radiant fire like flickers and burns, and he is left on his knees. Like you can see organs coming out, but still alive. And so almost like worse, he like is just, and you can see these big black grung eyes like looking at you, pleading with you. But he's like almost falling off this this walkway. Anything else, Minka?
I'm gonna go behind a pillar.
So Minka, you duck back in there, no problem. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
At the beginning of my turn, the effect switches. The smell of apple pie fills the air, and each creature in the cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by me until the end of
16. Yes.
Oh,
It's a dirty 20.
I got a 9.
Why can't I have rolled that with the mud?
What is it, 15? 14.
Unfortunate. Alina and Minka. The two of
What
you.
about Dire Croak?
Darkrook succeeded 16. The two of you like look around and
Tied up.
you can't see her, but like Cheshire's pretty cool.
It's anybody else that's in the 20-foot cube. Also, if there's one
Also,
That would actually just be
all the other grung.
for a 20-foot cube.
All the
Centered on Ori.
centered on
all
Ori.
the grung here, and the guy behind me,
Hell yeah.
and the grung up here,
I think the horses too.
and the horses.
Oh god, not the horses.
Not these horses. That horse. Oh, sorry.
20-foot cube.
Just that
Yeah,
horse.
so like literally every single person, these two, the merchant.
The merchant's still guided.
Also, is this a cube?
Spell
Yeah,
Waiting.
that lost a Dire Croak to
Centered
begin
on
with.
me.
Gains us back a Dire Croak. I don't know what I will do.
So,
My
give me one
concentration
second.
holds, so we're still guided.
Excellent. Hang on. First for the 3 grung. That is a 10, which is a failure, a natural 20, and a 15, which is meets a pizza. Okay, so one of them, we're going to say that purple one, is now really into Cheshire.
Why is it still funny?
These two individuals who are purchasing something from the merchant, that is going to be we're going to say just flat rolls. It is a 12 and a 19. So that dwarf is also just like looking around now, charmed by somebody he cannot see. And then
Over here. It's these. It's like this group, not these people.
a 20-foot cube still gets them. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
And then that one grung who's all the way up in that corner. That is a natural 1. And so instantly, there's a grung up on this little porch. And he runs over to the edge, and you could just hear him like ribbiting out real loud, looking for something. He's just not even sure what, but feeling real charmed. So
Lost without you.
charmed, no problem. So all of those guys charmed. Anything else, Cheshire?
I am remaining hidden.
Okay. Alina,
Yeah.
Cheshire's pretty cool, but what would you like to do?
Cool. I guess. Can I see the chieftain up there?
No, you are not aware of his presence.
Okay.
The only person that knows that they're there, they're the only one that's currently hidden right now.
Okay. And what? So did Ori succeed in tying Dire Croak
Yeah,
up?
he's tied up like right down on the ground underneath your butt.
Nice. So from my position, still just sitting on Dire Croak, and can I like hold my movement to get up once Ori's ready to sling him over his shoulder, or do I have to get up during my turn?
Yeah, you can do that. So yeah, technically you're supposed to only hold an action, but I guess if you were to use your action to move, then you could do that.
I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna stand up.
He's tied up. It's not gonna get.
Yeah. So I'll stand up, but I'll like stay next to him. And then I'm like, Cheshire is so cool. I should do something that's really gonna impress her. And I'm gonna look around.
So immediately in front of you, there's 2 of these green grung, and then up behind them, maybe like 15 feet up, there's 3 more grung. One of which is like almost dead. You can see like parts of their organs coming out.
And
There's
glowing.
one who's like just hopped up on the edge and is now looking over for somebody. Yeah, I mean,
I guess I'll finish off the one that's almost dead. Like, yikes, Minka.
yeah, make an attack.
Make
At advantage because he's glowing.
And mostly the same.
At this moment, he's like holding his intestines, and those are what are glowing. The rest of him is just like normal, and he's just like,
It's just hard.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
18.
Yeah, that hits. He had 1 hit point left. And so this Eldritch Blast just annihilates him. Minka, you're like making eye contact with him, and as you duck behind the pillar, you peek out, and he like is holding his intestines. He reaches towards you, and you watch as the face just away with the Eldritch Blast. There's like a stump, and then this amphibian flesh, and he just topples over and falls right behind the other grung.
I'm just gonna kind of nod approvingly at Minka.
Nice.
And let's see. I still have bonus.
Alina's like, this is who we kill. Anything else?
I guess that's it.
Alrighty. Billy, you need to find some mud. What would you like to do?
Bottom of a canal, right? And
Yeah.
Billy jumps into the canal.
No problem. So you dash 10 feet over and splash into the canal.
That would provoke some attacks.
It'll provoke 2. Yeah.
Billy's got to get to the mud.
It's about the mud.
No,
It's all about the mud.
But, Billy, that is an 8 and a 4. And so, pretty okay are you. These grung, like, looking around for somebody that they can't see.
Do I get to make a saving throw at any point to like stop thinking about mud? Or do I just
No,
continue?
you're in the mud. And so, like, this, at the end of your turn, you get to make a. Oh, no, this just ends at the end of your turn. You don't have to make a save.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it continued.
There's 2 that continue onwards, yeah.
I'm so sorry. That was so cute.
Billy's just gonna go to the mud,
Okay.
and when the turn is over, Billy can come back up.
No problem. So you just kind of get down and just blow bubbles for a little bit. That is Billy's turn. That brings us to Petal. Petal is dead. Or what do you want to do?
Just rubbing it.
I will carefully lift the roped dire croak onto my shoulder
Okay, no problem. You hoist him up.
and I'm gonna say, "Cover me!" And I'm running this way with them, and I'm gonna go up onto the raft here.
Okay.
And they got him on the shoulder. Oh, how the fuck
that's
can I
me.
do that?
For what's it? For,
there, yeah.
As you like bring him up onto the raft, you can see that turtle who's like across the canal. He turns around and he just goes, "Hey, that's not for you."
I'm commandeering this vessel according to Hassan.
Okay. Through the rain, you shout that out, holding his badge in like a blur of motion. He probably can't see, but no problem. You do that.
And I'm like, Minka, hop on, help me.
Okay.
Bonus
No
action, can I slash the rope that's tying the raft off of the...
Yeah, if you really want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slash.
So you begin to
Making
steal
the
this
getaway.
raft.
Making the getaway.
You slash this, and he goes, "Oh man!" And he's just like starting to like hobble after you, but he is slow. He's walking with a limp and a cane. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the top of the round. Okay. So, Dire Croak on your back just squirms really hard. Make a dexterity saving throw at advantage.
Dex saving throw.
Yep, he's trying to touch you.
Nice. That's a 22.
Okay, you just like shift him around on your back. You can tell he's trying to rub his skin against you, do anything to like try to break this grip, but you're too smart for that. You like drop him down to the part of your back where there's no exposed skin. He just like is wiggling against your back now. That is his action. He can't really do anything. So the chieftain Grum. Most of you can now see as he hops over. Can you put him right next to the cat?
Oh,
And actually, can you move the cat like 20 feet back? He's gonna go. The cat's gonna go onto the roof.
save the cat.
The cat's gonna run away from that. You hear like that? Runs over there. He jumps over this edge, and he is going to
Jump over the edge?
no.
Oh.
Oh, they got away.
taking stock of like all that is happening right here, you see he gestures with his little hand, and a little bolt of fire leaps out and streaks towards you, Alina. And you see, is there anybody else? So as he reaches forwards and tries to throw this bolt of fire down, that's when the cat leaps up, and it seems to startle him as he has a natural 1, and he tosses his bolt of fire right at his friend, who is up there like looking for Cheshire now, up on the roof, who's going to take 4 points of fire damage. That is orange 1. Okay. Now, the one who is alive and not charmed by Cheshire is going to take a shot at you, Minka. That's cocked. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Hits.
That is going to be 2 points of piercing damage. Right in the heel of your foot, you get this little arrow. Doesn't quite pierce through your sandal, but it's like stepping on a really sharp rock. That is the 2 who are up there. The 2 that are down are going to close the distance to you, Alina. Or can you push those 2 green guys on the ground up to where Alina is?
My concentration check failed. The merchant is no longer guided.
He's just like, oh shit, I know where I'm going. The 2 that attack you, that is a 6 and a natural 20.
Well, the natural 20 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. You are taking 14 points of piercing damage, and go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Is this a magical effect? I didn't
It's
hear it.
not,
It's
no.
just a
It is poison. Poison.
13.
13. So you look over at Billy, who just leapt into the canal, and you're like, Billy, what? Genius. You need to be in mud, and Billy has the solution. No problem. You need to find mud on your next turn. Yeah. That is your turn, Alina. Or sorry, that is that guy's turn. Those two. So Chief went. The only one left to go is this guy who is up there on the porch. He is going to take another shot at you, Minka, because you're glowing.
You shoved him into the door. He's worse. He's gone.
Does a 12 hit?
No.
Okay.
12 misses.
So this little arrow right down and like splashes into the canal. That is all of the grung. For the townsfolk, the guy. Hang on, let me just do a little bit of
Just maneuvering
here. So he is going to be like running alongside trying to catch his thing. These guys are like, nah, this is not for me. And they're like running down this alleyway.
They're one of our band.
This guy's going back into their house. So we'll just be on the first floor in there. These 2 are going to go duck around
That
here.
looks like he could.
This guy is going to run away. And
His
this
hair
guy
floating.
He's just juggling some pieces of cotton.
forward. They're going
The street performer.
I mean, that would be very impressive to control
That
fluffy.
brings us to you, Minka, followed by Cheshire.
Okay, so Alina and Billy are just Billy's.
I'm not there yet, but
not there
I will
yet.
be.
Okay, excellent. Yes, I'm going to healing word Billy, and then chalice Alina.
Okay.
So I am. Wait,
Throw a healing word into the mud.
I can see her.
Yeah.
She's up enough where I can see her.
It's
Okay.
like you can kind of see like above the chin, Billy, like this crazy like thorny hair coming all over the place. It's like pretty easy to see.
Okay.
Clear water.
Not crystal clear water, but the head is above water.
Why can't I find my things? Okay. So that is Billy is 7 points of healing, and for Alina it is.
You feel much better, Billy?
I have regained the 1 hit point that I have lost.
You feel back to full strength, Billy. Some of the best healing you've ever had.
Also, goddamn, this mud's good.
How many? 10 points of healing.
Very nice.
And then after hearing Ori say, "Get on," she's gonna hop onto the raft.
Okay.
But she's gonna stay in a corner because she sees Diacrow wiggling around a lot.
Okay, so you want to be away from Dire Crow.
I do not want to get wiggled onto. And I just
So these rafts, roughly like 15 feet wide, 20 feet long. So you can go all the way in that corner. You like have to balance a little bit, but you stay far away from Dire Croak.
Yeah, I'm close enough where if Ori goes down, I can prevent Ori from dying.
Okay.
But far enough away where hopefully a rogue like hand don't slap me or something.
Ori, Minka jumps on the raft behind you. You get a little nervous, but there you are.
Yep. So
That
I
is
still
your turn?
have an action
Oh, yeah.
because that's, and I don't think my action's going down. I will guidance Ori and then go to the corner.
Okay. You and then run over to the corner. Not to worry, that is your turn, Minka. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
Started my turn. And stays the same effect. Wisdom saving throw.
Is it
Everyone in the cube.
following me, or is it just on that point where I was?
It's on the point.
Where you were.
Oh, so I don't have to now?
Another dirty 20.
I'm assuming I'm
No,
still
you're out
in
of
it.
there. Dire Croak is not in there anymore, but there's 2 Grung.
And there's this grung here, too.
So both the Grung on the ground fail. The one who is up on that little left-hand porch succeeds.
There's a third
And then-
grung that would be here on the ground.
Yeah, I got him already. And then the one that is playing the drums up there on the top, that is going to be a failure as well. So 1 Grung succeeds. Very charmed. Luckily, not trying to strike Cheshire. Anything else, Cheshire? There you go. Still very invisible. You watch. Ori is like stealing a boat 10 feet in front of you. It's Cheshire's turn. Alina, what would you like to do? Billy, you're on deck.
Mud, please.
You
Billy.
run, your hooves like slipping almost on the wet wood, and then you dive into the canal, splash down, and this mud truly is pretty good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Do I still have an action, or is that like
Yeah,
my
you can absolutely take an action from
All
that.
right.
That's movement.
Is the chieftain Grung within 120 feet of me?
You would imagine, yeah.
All right, so while I'm in the mud, I'm like, pew, up toward the chieftain.
So as you run and you dive, you like fire the Eldritch Blast before you splash into the water.
Cool. 27 to hit.
Yeah, that absolutely hits.
Oh, I should have hexed him. Oh well. Where's my D10? Got it. 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage.
Yeah.
Whew. So, they already, as they hop over, the cat startles them. They shoot wide, and as they turn around and they're about to shoot again at Minka, you hit them right with the Eldritch Blast. They still haven't quite landed on their feet, and they almost topple off, but they're just managed to stick on. They hold onto their chest. You can see like burned and scorched elements of their like really, really simple clothing are like pulling away, but they're still up. Anything else, Alina?
Nope.
Alrighty. Billy, this mud was great mud, but you've had your fun.
Done.
You feel better.
Yep. Half movement to get out of the canal.
Okay. Climb up.
Alina's in the canal as well, yes.
Right behind you, yeah.
So no grung surrounding Alina. See Ori and Minka with Dire Croak in the raft.
Making the world's slowest getaway.
Alina, no. Who am I? Billy is going to make her way towards the raft and draw her sword and green flame blade, hit that one as she's running.
Yeah.
Will a 13 hit?
A 13 will not hit, unfortunately.
Cool. Well, if I have movement left, it's gonna be keep running.
You do not, because you use half movement to
Billy's
get up.
gonna
15 to
stop
get
there.
across.
And next question.
Yep.
I hexed Dire Croak.
Correct.
Did taking my mud bath.
No.
Cool. Done.
Yeah, doesn't
No.
break. Mud bath does not break concentration.
I was just really under the impression that my mind only wanted mud bath for
It
eternity.
really wants mud bath before you do anything else, but once you're there, you can multitask.
Well, you know what? Mud baths are great, guys.
There you go.
And that's just all Billy has to say about
There you
that.
go. That is Billy's turn. Ori, you are
From
now
the mud,
making,
Alina's like,
the world's
yeah.
slowest getaway. So, if you want, do you have any proficiency in water vehicles? No? Okay. So no problem. You are kind of at the mercy of the wind. And so you cut this, and the slow drift of this water, it's like a slow cycle because it's feeding off of the main canal. So slowly it like pulls you 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. Yeah, no, you're going this way, out into the main canal now. And with this turn, you just get into the faster moving water, but very quickly you feel this raft begin to like turn in this direction. There are several other rafts lined up, and you can actually see there's a banner over it's like a boat stand, and it says
Bolt on it.
I was looking at that.
it says Twisted Anchor Raft Rides, and this guy, this little like turtle, is like trying to get one of these rafts ready. He's like gonna chase you down. But that is your turn.
No.
Anything else?
Can I do other things?
Yeah. That's just like an action if you were going to be piloting this craft.
Oh, well, I
such as
wasn't
you
really
are.
piloting it. I was just going to let it kind of drift. And my whole thing was going to be...
Move it 10 feet back, so it's not even out in the channel yet. Though.
Okay. Because, yeah, I'm going to set Dire Croak down up against the...
10 feet further
to
back.
tie him up to the
On
post
map.
here.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And so action to tie him up on the post so that I can free my hands up.
Yeah, no problem.
And while I'm
Drop him
tying,
down.
we were like, all right, get us out of here.
Minka, suddenly you are the captain.
You're an air genasi, right?
All air genasi can go really well on boats.
Racist? I think we might all be racist
It's just
in
a
our own
confusing
way.
kind of racist. So.
Blow some air into the sail. Get us out.
Not all air genasi.
That's a weird stereotype. Like all men have seen the moon. It's like
Okay, but the air genasi that I have met have had some rudimentary control of the wind. All right, bonus action hide.
stealth check.
Right next
There's not
to
a lot of
me.
hiding, but you can try your best.
Remember when I said that the Starfinder
21.
combat lasted
21.
3 sessions?
I mean-
it was really good.
From anybody on the other side of the sail, you're very well
That
hidden.
is canal men.
That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the top of the round. So, first, Dire Croak, he's going to attempt to break free because that's really all he can do. It's a disadvantage. It's not going to make it. So he just wriggles, and Minka, from down at the post, you can just hear, you're making a bad mistake. And he just like is struggling but can't quite get out. Starting with the chieftain, he's going to reach down and he is going to take a shot at Billy. Billy, that is only going to be a 14 to hit. Ooh.
Pizza.
You take 4 points of fire damage as this little bolt of fire, trailing smoke from the rain, hits and impacts you. Up top, 2 grung are going to take shots down at you as well, Billy. Billy, that is a 6 to hit and a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
You take 6 points of piercing damage. And then the 3 grung on the ground are going to rush you, Billy, because you're the only one right there.
These 3
Yep.
that I am gonna feel for.
Yeah, you got them.
Hey,
They're all together now.
we're Russian.
Hey, you're Russian.
One of them was like, hey, we're rushing over here, boys. You're taking 3 attacks. Holy crap. That is an 8, and a 10.
Billy just looks at all 3 of them and is just like, no.
They're like, we're gonna rush them, boys. And they go out and they just see you, and you're like, at this moment, you have like your thumbnail off. It's just freely bleeding on the ground. You're covered in water and mud, and the true like thorny elements are really protruding out and look jagged against your wet hair. And they're a little frightened. They're kind of like, don't rush, boys. Don't rush, boys. Anything
Rush
else?
away.
That's 1, 2, 3. The one who is up. Oh no, is he?
He
Yeah,
was
the one who is up in
charmed,
the
I
top
think,
left.
right?
He can be charmed. He just can't be going for a treasure. He's going to take a shot at Alina. Alina, that is a natural one, and so
He falls.
no.
dies.
However, he does deal 6 points of damage to one of the ones that's fighting Billy. And for the first time, blood is drawn on that grung. So that is all of the grung. The only thing that they're going to do in terms of movement probably No, they're with Billy. That is their turn. That brings us to Minka. Minka, what do you want to do? You are the captain now.
I'm the captain now. Minka's gonna look over and see that Billy's getting like swarmed and just yell, Billy, hang on, and healing word again. And then this
Compensating.
I know. Listen, guilt's
Billy stubs her toe and you're like, Billy, no.
So it's 6 points, and then the 8 are gonna go to Ori because he was bleeding.
Oh, I am bleeding.
So that is
I like that Alana's keeping better track of her health.
7. That's 7 points.
Forgot I got
Sorry.
hit by those toothpicks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what I need.
Excellent.
Back to full health.
And then since it's apparently I need to captain this boat somehow, I'm gonna druidcraft my staff longer to see if I can just kind of push.
Amazing. So you rip the staff and like not knowing what to do, it just longer, and you just take it and start pulling around and trying to like push through the canal. I mean, it's not a terribly deep canal. It definitely reaches the bottom. That's an effective way of pushing forward.
Definitely saw Billy and Alina both jump in and just stand.
Take this pull and you shove, and that gets you just right out into the canal, 10 more feet, and then the craft now begins to turn. And actually,
This dude. Just opportunity attack.
So, as in the main canal, again, this guy has his little stand.
Are we going around these, or are we going
So you're going to be going around them, yeah.
Sorry, each sail is cuter than the last.
Yeah. We could have gone for like a joyride. We could have just gone and had a nice day out. We could have in the canal.
We could have done so many things.
So he is climbing onto the one with the heart, the one closest, and he's like getting ready to pursue you. He is going after his ship. That is Aminka's turn. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
At the start of my turn, seeing Ori beginning to move, I do have the ability to move this cube 10 feet, so just kind of lazily drifting. But staying within the area, so it's like still has.
With 10 feet, it's not going to get even close to Ori, I don't
No,
think.
I'm not, but it's
Drifting,
slowly
gotcha. Ominously.
slowly
It's like
chasing.
like a glimmering, glittering mist. Like so,
This is the
the
real
mist, the
chasing
movie.
we were
It's like
waiting
that, but just glitter. Just as ominous, just as like gray and bleak and dark, but glitter. So no problem. That just crawls.
it switches to the drops of molasses are back, making it difficult terrain until the start of my next turn.
Very nice.
Ori looks back and
not like I had
starts
to run
raining
anywhere.
molasses.
You're just
The
like,
true
oh, I
chase
just got out.
begun.
Anything else, Cheshire?
I'm staying in.
Alina, what would you like to do? You are in the water. You see Billy is like up on this little tiny dock fighting with two grung. You see this tiny little healing spell right through the water. What do you want to do?
Can I just move this for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't help. Okay.
So almost all these buildings, you can just move the floors away if you want. If it's helpful, you can.
Like the second floor?
That's okay. I'll just stand up apart now. Okay.
But you be aware, every single room is built, so there's like stuff on all the floors.
Is this a civilian?
Yeah. They're kind of like right now hiding behind the crates, like watching everything, and then every now and then just being like looking for somebody, it would seem.
I would like to cast Shatter in such a way that gets two of these rungs without getting anybody else, and I'm just trying to figure. It's just a 10-foot sphere.
Do you want the thing? The thing, my bob?
What is this?
Okay, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
So catch
Two
these
on
two
that
guys.
side of
Yeah.
this side of Billy.
Yeah, and so it's like this sphere right here. All right, so I'm gonna cast Shatter.
And what's the size of that sphere?
10 foot.
Okay.
So
It's this.
Yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be able to catch these guys just right on the edge of it, and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I stand up from my mud bath. I'm like, Billy, I won't leave you, or something corny like that, and then each of those two grungs need to make a con saving throw, DC 16.
That is going to be a 7 and a 16.
Silvery Barb's the one that passed.
Hell yeah.
Roll a d20.
11.
All right, and I'm giving myself the advantage.
Very nice.
Nice.
Excellent.
Okay, so the one who failed takes 12 points of thunder damage, and the other one takes 6. I don't suppose any of them are made of inorganic material, such as stone, crystal, or metal.
However, because it is a 10-foot sphere, you see all these crates and everything just explode.
Yeah.
And so all of these are gone. This guy is now prone. He is just like covered in splinters and like ripped canvas, and all that kind of stuff. No problem.
All right. And then I'm gonna just stand back to back with my friend here.
No problem. You climb up onto the raft. You like roll over and just throw the spell as you like climb back to your feet. There is just wood that explodes everywhere. And so it's you and Billy. And then off in the distance, you see your friends just like sailing into the harbor. But anything else, Alina?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I would leave Billy behind at this point.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, so I'll just, as a free action, I'll be like, just like old times, or whatever. And then
Billy, what do you want to do?
Bonus action, Hexblade's Curse, the one directly in front of Billy.
Okay. This was the one that just failed that
seen
spell.
a
They're
lot
looking
of
pretty
like
rough.
80s action movies.
Cool, it's the one behind me looking a little bit healthier?
Yeah.
Cool, that one.
Cool.
So Hexblade's Curse, the one that's looking a little bit healthier, please.
It's the one right in front of Billy. Yeah.
Cool. After I do that, Green Flame Blade, and I'm going to make an attack.
Yeah, go for it.
Get him.
Whoa. Oh!
Whoa. Oh, hell yeah.
Still okay. Just wanted to see if I got 2 natural 20s. Because that's what happened when it was in the binder. It was
natural
locked,
20,
but it was in the
absolutely.
binder as a natural 20. Okay, so remind me again. 4 crits.
You roll the dice, double the dice
result.
roll, and then add the modifiers.
Okay. What's the... Sorry, it's been a minute since I've hit something.
No worries. No, I totally get it. I'm here for 2 games a week.
That hurts. So that's 3 doubled to 6 plus 4 is 10. And then 5 points of fire damage to the other creature directly next to me. And Hexblade's Curse means I get to use my proficiency bonus, which is 2. So hold please for math. 6, 4, 12 points of slashing damage to the guy in front of me, and 5 points of fire damage to the other one.
The other one, who is already looking pretty rough, after the shatter kind of almost knocks him to the side, he pulls himself back up, and you can see in the amphibious skin, there are splinters and jagged bits of metal that exploded out from this. You actually see like fish bones. There was like a container of fish in here, and so it smells pretty bad too. But the fire that flickers off your flame blade seems to catch the little bits of clothes that they're wearing, and they have to like pat it out, and they turn around, the spear slips from their hands, and they just right through their own neck, and they are dead.
That's rough.
Get him out of there.
Good
The
kill.
one that is Hexblade's Curse. Or no, sorry, the other one. The one that's not Hexblade's Curse.
This one.
Yeah.
Or this one.
Nope, blue one. Yeet that guy out of here. That was Grunter, by the way.
No.
And that's Billy. He doesn't want to move now that Alina's right here. He's gonna stay in spot.
I will say, for what it's worth, you guys are both on this like little floating dock. Technically, it moves just as fast as these other rafts at this moment.
I'm assuming it'd be an action to cut it free.
It would,
though.
but just for what it's worth, that is right there. That is your turn, Billy.
Noted.
Ori, you are currently on this raft, the lightning bolt raft, with Minka and with Direcrook. So 2 potential enemies. What do you want to do?
Bonus action, steady aim.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to shoot the dude all the way up here
Make your
after
attack
steady
roll.
aiming.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be moving because it's moving on its own. So I don't need to be. And free action, be like, how much do I owe you for the raft?
You got him.
I believe it's a dirty 20 to hit this.
Dirty 20 hits, yeah. Free action. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Remember, you're guided.
Oh. It's a plus a D4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what a great guidance.
Oh, that was actually into a 14.
A 14?
Yeah.
Okay. So he looks at you. He looks at Direcroak, who is like tied up. He looks over at Minka, who like waves like celestial light, like glowing off. And he just goes, 2 gold. But you gotta bring it back.
That's exactly how much gold that I have.
Are you giving us the gold?
Can I free action toss him the gold before I take this shot? Because I already shot him and hit, so.
You can't, but you can have the gold ready to go in your
Okay.
hand.
Yeah. And
So yeah, you take the shot, you like pull back the arrow, and you're like, how much do I owe you? You let go of the arrow, and as you're like, 2 gold, you see, shoom, it sticks into the grung, and you like at the same time plunge your hand into your wallet. You pull out the 2 gold. How much damage is that?
it's gonna be 14 points of damage.
Oh yeah, this like grung-like chieftain who is doing these loud ribbits and seemed to be helping everybody else out takes this arrow straight to the face. And they kind of like pinwheel their arms for a second, and there is a crash of lightning, and they just fall. And you can see that little like stand beneath. They fall through the cloth, and they slam into the wood. And the merchant lets out a little like shriek, high pitched, and that is what happens to that guy. Anything else, Sorry?
That's it for me.
Alrighty.
Is he still alive?
And I ready my 2 gold piece toss.
Okay. You prepare for that toss. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the top of the round. So finally, as you are pulling out into this harbor, those 2 grung who are up top are going to hop down, and they're going to move 20 feet to get right up to where the other grung is. I can do it. It's easier if I do it. I can see him from here, and I can reach him from here.
Can't do like upsy
I
downsy
know,
today.
it's
Like
tough. So they jump down,
I don't want to ruin this.
and they are going to go in this kind of stride. They are going to attack you with these arrows.
Things that you see in like the balloons.
That is going to be a 15 and a 10.
To hit me?
Yeah.
15 hits.
Bill, you are taking 4 points of piercing damage, and then this cursed grung is going to take an attack. Is the Hexblade Curse do anything to it when it attacks you?
Nope.
Okay. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Can you make a Constitution saving throw as you take 2 points of piercing damage? Just a little jab in the knee.
An 11 for that jab,
Okay.
and an 11 and a 12 for my concentration checks.
Okay, great. That jab, unfortunately, just enough poison left on it. And as it pulls away, you're like, that was nothing. You look back at this canal, and you're like, but that really hurt. And it felt better when I went in last time.
damn it.
You need to go into that canal. But no problem. That can happen on your next turn. 1, 2, 3. There is the one that is still like right next to you, Alina. That's going to be a 6 to hit.
Nope.
So that is a pretty big miss. And so finally, Direcroak is going to struggle and try to get out. And that's like a 4. Which a natural 20 on the other dice. So very, very nice was that disadvantage. That is all of the grung. That is going to bring us to Minka. Minka, you are piloting this boat with this kind of pull. You can push it along and kind of have some steering. However, as you are the captain, we'll move the boat on your turn. As you into this canal, it carries you a little quicker, and you move 20 feet and begin to speed in your pace. The channel is beginning to move a little faster, and you can see the brownstone buildings and maybe like 200 feet ahead. And it begins to transition into a little bit more like rocky, landy wilderness, and this becomes less of a canal and more of what looks like a river or a runoff of some kind. But that's still a whole 120 feet ahead. I'm going to mark that down. I'm going to make a little map for myself.
There you go.
So, for what it's worth, anything else that you want to do?
Ori? Where are we going?
Away?
Oh no. He's gonna look out into
What's
the
wrong? We're getting
battlefield.
away.
The river.
You like turn around and look, and you can see like 120 feet away. It begin like all the stone walls just end, and in the distance you can see like not mountains, but big boulders and like rocky landscape. And this is like heading off into the west. This is like the land. This is probably a river that runs in, or like a runoff.
So we're just like going to hit shore.
If you do not turn out of this main canal, there are 2 or 3 places that, like this, are like little inlets that you can go into. But unless you go into those, this travels further to the north and then out of sight a little bit northwest.
Into like whitewater territory.
You don't see, there's no white water. It just travels out of town. At least not yet.
Okay.
Get your helmet on.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Can I see the battlefield at all, or is it mostly just kind of like
from where you are?
cube
Yeah,
of fog
you are
and-
about to pass away for where you can't really see very much. I would say you can see like movement and shapes right around where Billy and Alina are, and you know that they're there, so you know that that's happening, but you don't have any details. You can't see figures.
Okay. Not feeling confident enough to shoot wildly into there. She's gonna use all of her concentration to just try to like control the raft as much as she can.
You're not proficient in water vehicles?
Absolutely not.
Make a dexterity check.
Man, nobody took the sailor background. You
Not
know
this
that,
time.
That perception.
Oh,
and,
man.
Proficiency is so sweet.
5.
So Minka, Druidcraft, and you jam it in, and it just cracks all the part that you just made right back off, and you see just bobs and becomes driftwood in the stream, and your boat just begins to pick up speed.
Grow it back.
Oh no.
That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Cheshire. What would you like to do? Is this still moving like 10 feet further?
Seeing them drift much further away, no.
Okay.
Stop.
Just keep it right over Alita and Billy.
We got away.
No problem. What does it become?
It remains molasses and it is difficult to remove.
Phenomenal. So that is your turn, Cheshire. You remain invisible. You remain molassesy.
I'm going to disengage from the battlefield and make my way after the disappearing raft, but do so in a way that Minka and Ori don't necessarily know that I'm following.
I mean, you're invisible, and so you can just kind of walk along the shoreline. At the moment, they're beginning to pick up speed, and so this is going to go from a walk to a jog to a run pretty quick.
I mean,
There are, I will say,
Cheshire breaks sweat for nobody.
there are 3 other rafts, and you can see this like turtle is like reaching one hand out, Ori is like getting ready to throw, and there are other rafts that are kind of lined up there, so that is an option as well.
Rat
But
chase.
you begin to
flowing,
Okay.
but not at a hurry.
No worries. You walk. That is your turn, Cheshire. That brings us to Alina. Billy, you're on deck.
All right. Are these 2 grungs like on this little floating dock with us?
Yeah. This is a 4x4 space with 4 creatures on it right now.
Cool. So I'm gonna look down and notice the rope.
Yeah.
Sorry that I'm stealing the thing that Kara noticed, but I'm gonna reach down and cut the rope. Cut it with what? What do I have to cut rope? Probably something. No.
Your antler?
My antler? No, I'm gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast at the rope.
Okay, no problem. As an action, you sever the rope badly.
like a lot. And then
There's a plant in the wilderness somewhere that goes, ow.
do we start to drift?
Yeah, and it's a 10. You know, it's a 10-foot drift per turn in this like little inlet.
Okay, and I'm gonna say to the grungs who are on here with us, you can come with us or you can leave now. And then can I do I notice that Billy is looking mud hungry again?
Yeah, you can see Billy's like as the raft begins to move, Billy's eyes just stay on that spot.
Can I think maybe I'm out of actions, but can I hold on to her? Or is that-
Do you have a bonus action that lets you do that?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh boy. All right, I'll just be like, Billy. Billy, no.
Free action, you say that. However, Billy, that mud, it's right there.
You've been in the mud. And Billy just dives in.
And there's a part of your brain that kind of gets it, but yeah, you dive into the mud, splash. I will say that does provoke attacks of
Of
opportunity.
course it does, but must mud.
Must mud.
Must mud.
The first one is a 14 to hit,
Meets it, beats it.
and the second one is a 15 to hit. The first one
The little guy.
is a 5 points of piercing damage. The second one is 5 points of piercing damage.
And the hex on Dire Croak drops.
And he like looks around at himself a little surprised after slashing at you. But anything else, Billy? Jump off and into the mud.
As Billy's like diving in, just kind of like points at the one that's hexblade cursed, and fires off an eldritch blast.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Billy realizes you can have both mud and violence at the same
You
time.
can have your mud and eat it
Yay.
Truly one can have both mud and violence. That is a 13. I'm gonna go take a mud bath now.
too. You like fire it off and it goes wide. There's mud in your eyes and your mouth, and while you appreciate that, it's not helping your combat.
It is not.
So that is your turn, Billy. That brings us to you, Ori. Ori, you have this prepped. Are you bonus action, we'll say, throwing this gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, gently tossing.
Make a
underhand so you can
yeah,
catch it.
make a sleight of hand check.
Are they in
Most
a bag at
important
least? Or is it 2
It's
coins?
just 2 gold coins. You can catch them.
The big slow ass turtle. He's gonna try really hard.
You can swim. You'll catch them. What am I doing? Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's pretty good. Another. I still have guidance.
It's a concentration
Oh,
for a
right.
minute, which makes way more sense in battle than it does.
That's what you're doing. Yeah, finally. Nobody
I was just
resists
adding
that.
it. So it's a 26.
A 26. You take these
Guidance.
coins and you gently toss them. He has his like little wrinkly hand out, and as you do, you like gently like heft it so that way
spin on it.
when it lands, it'll just gently like right in his hand. And in your mind, you know this is perfect. And his hand is out, and then he completely like not coordinated in any way, shape, or form rolls a 2 and gets a total of 1. And then tries to catch it in his arms, and you see the gold just and blunk, blunk, right into the water, and he goes, "Oh, what the shell!" Just splashes in to go after it. He can hold his breath for up to 6 minutes, so he's just got to go get the gold.
Nice.
But he is now like swimming beneath the water.
Cool.
Proper businessman, this one.
I guess as my action, I'm going to ready to untie and disembark if it seems like this thing is going to start picking up real fast.
Okay, no problem.
If we lose control,
Okay,
essentially.
sure, no problem. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the top of the round. Dire Croak struggles. Oh, and well, it's a natural one, so even at disadvantage. He like struggles and struggles, and you see he's like about to get a little bit looser, and he goes ha, and he surges forwards, and it's like that ties a knot somehow tighter, and he right back against the pole. He goes, "What the fuck?" And like can't even move.
Yeah.
He is well secured now.
Really good at tying knots as a kid.
However, there are 3 Grung who are still up. 4 Grung, in fact, actually, but 3 that are right toe-to-toe with you, Billy. 1 is going to strike at Alina. 2 are going to strike at Billy.
I'm
Billy?
in the water.
Oh, you are in the water,
the
right?
monkey box.
Because nobody's moving things. I can't.
I can't reach Billy.
No worries, it's tough. I got it. There. So this was here. Billy jumped into
My
the
view of
water.
the battlefield is a roof.
This is right here.
You're like a little window.
It's like I can see through the corner here, and now I can't see Billy anymore.
If I angle it just right, I can see through this little like
So
gap
Billy,
between the
you are taking 1 blow. Alina, you are taking 2.
Okay.
Billy, that is a natural 20.
Fuck.
You are taking 13 points of piercing damage, and go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. You might be
No!
staying in this mud.
I'm in the mud. That's a 16.
He jabs you and he goes, "Yeah, you stay in the mud," and just like jabs you again. That is that one. The ones that are attacking you, Alina, that is a 14 and a 9.
14 meets it, beats it.
That is 2 points of piercing damage. That's almost insulting. The critical hit, max damage, and then not critical hit, minimum damage. That is all of those guys. The one who is up on the porch is going to lean over and take a shot at you, Alina. That is only a 7. And so splash right in the water. That is all of the grung. I think probably after they do make that action. No, they're feeling pretty good about this. Yeah, it's 3-on-1 right now on the raft in their mind. So that is their turn. That brings us to you, Minka. Your ship accelerates a little further. You travel 30 feet. And as you do, there's a brief and it's almost like you look back and you can see there's some barrels that have been lashed. Weird that they would do that. But it's almost like when you go over, it picks up even faster. What would you like to do?
Trying to turn us. We're not supposed to be out here.
Because Minka did not prepare to be a raft captain today.
I actually was watching a lot of Pick Her Spells, and Raft Captain, she made eye contact with me, and she didn't prepare.
She was like, I'm not gonna need that.
Yeah, no, definitely not today. Everything is. I'm going to assume the canal is deeper than 5 feet.
As soon as you clear those barrels, it feels like it gets a little deeper. Yeah, perhaps that was some kind of a marker.
Wild.
That's where the good mud ends.
Seeing that we just keep going faster and faster, Minka's gonna make the really wise decision.
What you doing, Minka?
Wise decision.
Sorry.
Make a dexterity saving throw. You're taking a long time.
Yeah,
And you
no,
hit a
I'm not
big
gonna
bump.
do. I'm not gonna do. I thought about it, but we're not gonna do. I definitely did not make that as 7.
Minka, you freeze, and as you consider what to do and your mind draws a blank, you hit another bump and you fall off the raft and splash. Already 5 feet behind the raft, it is moving pretty quick. You are not the captain anymore.
I'm not. I'm relieved.
As you tread water, Minka, anything else?
I'm gonna try to get out of the canal.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't take your movement, and so you can just kind of half your movement climb up onto the canal. You brush yourself off, still glowing.
Does that trigger my ready to action?
You're not out of control. Well, I mean, I would argue you're not out of control. You are captainless. You also, arguably, you used your actions on your turn. The readying to do that is more thematic than anything. So you continue to be ready to get off of this ship. And yes, you are captainless now.
So I am now somewhere down here.
You are, somewhere in that direction over on the left.
Yeah, I'll use whatever movement I have left to go. I'll go get help. I'm just gonna start running back towards other people.
So
I certainly have nothing.
You can reach right where the teardrop sail is, and so you're running along like the cobblestones. You get back up right as the turtle from the water, and like both hands slap down. You can see he has one gold piece in each like green hand, but he begins to climb up. That is your turn, Minka. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
I believe this is the last round of this, but it switches back to the smell of apple pie.
And
everyone in the
giggles.
square needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Or no, what do I mean?
This one I'm okay with.
Cheshire slaps.
All 3 fail.
Nice.
Dirty 20 for me.
See, everything's gonna be fine.
The best part about this, though, is it really doesn't affect the combat itself. It only affects it if somehow Cheshire is seen. But
But seeing Minka kind of run back and I soon catch up to where I am, just kind of reappear there at the end of the corner and juggling.
you just see right around, coming around the corner for the first time in this combat, Cheshire. All right, Cheshire. That is your turn. That brings us to you, Alina and Billy. You're on deck. This cloud into flowers. The grung seem a little confused. Billy, very wet. What would you like to do?
Look at these little fuckers.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna Eldritch Blast.
1 point. Your raft 10 feet forward, so it does move a little bit.
All right.
It affects your decision making as well. Billy, in theory, you can at disadvantage make an attack of opportunity, as that does pull 1 grung out of your range of attack.
15.
15? That misses, unfortunately. So close. So close. You swing out, and this little grung darts away, and they are suddenly just a little out of your range.
All right. I'm gonna go like I guess full psychopath. So the grung that I'm standing next to, without touching his skin,
Okay.
I'm gonna put my hand out so that it's like right next to his face and Eldritch Blast.
Oh my god.
Okay, make an attack roll. Go ahead and make it an advantage, as you are like point blank range, and thematically, I think that makes some sense.
Nice. I critted.
Yeah, go ahead, roll damage on that.
Okay. Double damage dice, is it?
This is the only unhurt grung to it. I think this might kill
You roll
him.
and double the value.
So yeah, you roll
once and
normal
double
and then
the
double the dice.
All right, so that's 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage.
Yeah.
You put your hand directly in front of his face, and he just goes, "Wait!" And you, right in front of him, as it clears, he is like on his back. He like shakily climbs back up. He is like burnt badly. You can see like the charred, like almost like bacon texture to this amphibian skin.
Nice.
Anything else?
As a free action, I say to all three of the grungs, you have a choice now. You can leave, or you can stay, and I can shoot you some more.
Okay, no problem. Okay, that is your turn, Alina. Billy, you in the water, slash out of this grung. What would you like to do? You're already in the mud.
Can I get on the raft, or is it past too far?
It is right where it is, so you can like go 5 feet forward and then climb up on the raft. Yeah,
Billy's gonna do that.
no problem. Now, are you able to share a space with a creature for any reason?
Oh, my ally, I can.
So you can share a space with Alina till the end of your turn.
Yes.
Okay, so you hop up, you and Alina like back to back, truly.
Green flame blade.
Okay.
Slash at
Go for
hexblade curse, dude.
Make some
Okay.
room.
Kill the guy to make the room. Yeah.
There you go.
That's good.
Dirty 20.
That hits.
2 plus 4 plus 2 is 8. And then 5 to creature within 5 feet of you. It doesn't say that I can choose.
I think you can. That just makes sense because you choose what direction you're slashing the blade in. There's 2, so you can choose whichever one you want.
I choose the blue one.
Okay.
Choose you, blue one.
And how much does it do to the blue one?
5
5.
points of fire damage.
Billy, so first you're like, you can get off, or I'm gonna like, whatever, you're gonna come with us, or I'll kill you. And they look at each other, and they're like, and then Billy leaps up and just decapitates one of them, and the other one's throat slit almost all the way across so that they're a Pez dispenser, and they fall off into the water. Billy, you just like climb on, and there's only one left, and now 1 grung and 2 of you. The tide's completely turning.
And I get 4 HP because one died.
Go, fantastic. Anything else, Billy?
No.
Or
Oh, yes.
oh, Billy.
Yes. I have a bonus action.
Indeed, just like old times.
Bardic Inspiration.
There you go. Bardic Intimidation, right to Alina. Ori, you are on this ship. It is you and Direcrook. What would you like to do?
Bring him down to Yupple.
Free action, Direcrook just goes, "Hey, I can get you out of here. I know how to move this thing. Let me out."
Shut up.
Okay, no problem.
And I'm gonna, I'm untying him from the post so that I can move him off of the raft. And then I guess, so that's my action. And then hoisting him back up onto my shoulder. I guess.
Good sound.
Bonus action, I guess I'm gonna hide for the sake of hiding. And then,
Make a stealth check.
yeah, and then I guess I'm gonna wait another round to see how far. That's like a 15 or 16, I think.
Okay. From the only other person that is on this craft, you just hear, "Hello?" Hey, down here. Oh, sure, you're just like off to the left. No problem. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the top of the round. So Dire Croak now turns. He's gonna try to wriggle into you.
Well, I've got him up on my.
Yeah, he's just trying to touch you with his skin. It's still a disadvantage. You can't really do anything else. Ooh, 12.
Nope.
So just rubs, and he goes, "I'm just trying to help you out," and he's just like trying to like rug out. But that is his turn. The one who is left here, Alina. He sees his friends like decapitated. They splash into the water, and he just goes. He holds his spear and just falls back. It just splashes into the water as well. If you want, it can provoke an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of you can make it because
we hate grunts.
Violence. Always the answer. I got a 25.
25. Yeah, go ahead. Roll damage for that.
Billy's just too tired and bloody. It's like,
7 damage from me.
7 damage. So this one, you're like, I'll spare you. And he's like, okay. And you slash him in the throat. He dies before he even hits the water. No problem. You can see the only other grung like in your sight as you're like now beginning to float away is the one who's like up on that porch. And you turn your eyes to him and he just goes, no. Throws the bow over and just like you hear, just like runs away. But you and Billy now drift slowly on this little raft. However, all of the bad guys are dead. And so I'm going to take you out of initiative. However, Ori, you at this moment begin to pick up speed.
When I get out.
You are moving about 50 feet around. And so where that is bringing you at the end of that, when we get out of initiative, about 30 feet ahead of you now. You can see the very last 2 brownstone buildings before it goes like around this corner. And there's no whitewater rapids, but you can see it does begin to get a little bit more uneven. And the water certainly getting faster as you go. The next turn, if you do not exit the craft, you are getting pulled into what is a much faster moving stream. Unclear as to where it goes, but it heads west.
Like out of the city west?
Yes, you are right on the edge. It's not a huge city,
right. And
so you're right on the edge of the city.
Okay. I don't want to lose this guy's shit.
You are almost at the computer.
Okay. So I have 1 turn essentially to do stuff to get off?
Yes.
Okay. How far on either side is the shore or the bank of the pier?
On one side, only 5 feet away. On the other, you'd have to jump 15 feet of water and then get onto the stone.
Cool. I have my action. Can I use it to take the piece of rope that had been wrapped around to keep him posted?
Sure.
And keeping it like one end tied to the post, grab the other end, jump off of the raft.
Yeah, sure. Make a athletics or acrobatics check, your choice. Okay. At disadvantage, as you are presumably taking Dire Croak with you.
Yeah, I'm taking Dire Croak with me. Can I steady aim before?
No, you can't steady aim a grung to then swing a rope.
What if you toss
Oh
him
man!
as the anchor?
All right, so
If you kick him and then you go real fast, you can catch him on the other side.
natural 20 and then a 15.
Ooh. Oh, hey, you know what though? A 15 is just enough.
Nice.
And as you
Still our
grab
guidance.
onto this with one hand, you grab him with the other. There's a moment where it feels very much like a futuristic 1960s star fighting franchise. You're like, look at the grung. He looks at you and he's like, what? And you swing. And you go out and like over the water and tumble onto the cobblestone. Oh.
I'm just trying to go the 5 feet, like jump off with the rope in my hand.
Yeah, and you're doing it in a cool
swinging.
way. Okay, fine.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Instead, you go, oh,
Do you want
okay,
us to
we're just
do
going to go.
very
You
cool
stumble
way to
a
get
little
out
bit.
that round or not?
You fall. The grung goes, hey, you look like a fucking idiot. And
I'm trying to.
I will take you out of
I'm
initiative.
trying to keep this tied so that I can lash the other end so that it doesn't just float away and then I owe the turtle a bunch of money for his lost raft.
You land on the side of the shore. You hold on to the rope.
I'm trying to.
And as the raft kind of tugs, you're able to hold that with one hand. You have Dire Croak on the other. It's you can't really tie it off in this method.
Drop in Dire Croak onto the ground now,
no
so
problem.
that I can hitch the thing and then pick him back up.
Give me
and
1 second.
Keep him
Pull you out
secure.
of initiative.
He's not tied anymore, is he?
No, he is.
So there's 2 ropes. One is around him, and then one is tying him to the ship.
I'm used to us just having the one rope and the other one being teeny tiny
No,
ropes.
I took your rope.
Several segments.
Your rope.
It's Alina's rope.
Your rope to tie him, and then used my own rope to tie him to the
Billy's not a fan of ropes.
to
apparently.
the rafts.
Ropes are done. So you now.
Success.
The rain still falls down around you. There is like a little bit of chaos that's happening. The turtle like climbs up, and like as he sees you like tie this off, he just like, hey,
Thank you.
thank you. And he just takes these 2 gold and sticks them in his little pouch. He begins to tie the boat that he was beginning to like get ready to chase you down in back to the shore.
So, can we see Ori?
No.
Okay.
They're like a ways down. They're 90 feet down in that direction.
But he talked to the turtle? How far down is
Oh,
the
so
turtle?
yeah, fair enough. So they walk back. I would say at this point you see the turtle talking, and then Ori rounds the corner, like dragging Dire Croak around.
Put him back on my shoulder and start heading back to the group.
I assume at some point Alina and Billy have like gotten off the float.
Yeah, once we see that there's no need for like a river chase, probably.
You get down to like the end, and you see Ori get on, so you just get off.
got
and now
him.
each of you stands on opposite sides of this little inlet river.
We're just like sitting at the edge of the canal, just like
That was good.
that was something.
Is your thumb okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Just like peeled it a little bit.
Okay. Maybe this isn't the time to ask, but why'd you put your thumbnail in his pocket?
Oh, just keep track of it.
Ori, as you're like carrying Dire Croak, he's like right there, his like mouth behind you, and he just goes, "Look, you're making a big mistake. You could still let me go, and you could still get out of this alive."
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about not dying, but he's not being alive for you.
Why would getting you out of here keep me alive? You're the one in a bad situation now, mate.
He kind of like goes quiet for a second, and he just goes, "Fine."
Is he lying to me?
Make a insight check.
With my
ear for
deceit.
Your ear for deceit.
Try to insert goes me. 24.
24. It's interesting. As you like look at him and try to figure out what he's doing, there is a part of this that is a little bit of a bluff. But there's also a part of it that is sincere. This is probably going to... Somebody hired him. You know that he is a poisoner. And so you get the sense that he is alluding to whoever he is hired by. He, in and of himself, not in a great situation here.
How far am I before I get back to the group?
You're like right back at the juncture right now. And I would say also, finally, with that check, because it was pretty high, you get the sense that Dire Croak is not sure if his employer will help him. Genuinely not sure.
Alright. Said, look, we just want to know who hired you to kill the ambassador.
Wait, you're coming from the Emerald Spire?
That's right.
Oh. Well, this is pretty awkward. I can't see you. Can you put me down?
Are we all together at this
Yeah, I'm
point?
going to.
Alina's like, yes, good cop, back up, we're gonna do this. And Alina's gonna walk over and kick him in the chest and knock him over.
He just
And be like,
Alina leaps up and drops.
it's a mirthful leap. And then she's gonna like wink at Ori and be like, I think you'll want to answer my friend's questions.
I just wanted to put him down first.
I think at this point, Minky's gonna run up, seeing that like both Billy and Alina are very bloody, and be like, "Oh, okay, and just heal them."
I'm okay, heal her.
And doesn't put one hand in the back of each of you, and I'll because it's the same. So
Okay, fair enough.
he, like, now that you put him down, he sits there and he goes, so if I tell you whatever it is that you're looking for, you're just gonna let me go?
You didn't say that.
Well, then why would I answer your question?
Well, because I could kill you right here.
Yeah, but if you're not gonna let me go, then it doesn't really matter.
Listen, we're working for someone very powerful.
We'll let you go. Just tell us what we want to know.
And all we want is to perform the task that we've been given, which is to find out why the ambassador was poisoned. So you can help us find that out, or we can kill you and bring you back to our employer and say, oh, we're so sorry he wouldn't talk.
You keep threatening. I told you I would talk. I just need to know what you want. But if you want to know who killed this...
It's alright. She gets a bit aggressive.
Yeah, who are you people? Like, who hired you?
It doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about
Alina's gonna show him her little badge, like...
He like looks at it and kind of goes, I don't know.
You don't need to
Oh, right, because we were hired because of the poisoning that you did.
Who hired you?
We're asking the questions here, friend. Who hired you?
He nods, just goes, it's this noble who lives in the spire. Diatre is his name, I think. Real rich guy, but his servant's the one that passed me off the money.
He's the one who lives...
I'll admit to you, just, you guys are gonna let me go, right?
Oh, sure, yeah, we'll let you go.
He wasn't the target. The ambassador was the target, but I didn't realize that in the Republic they have this stupid tradition where they switch glasses right before they drink for a toast, and so...
That's good.
Kind of a
Things
mix-up.
went upside down then, huh? That's why you fled to Petrichor.
Yeah.
Insight check.
Yeah. Ear for deceit.
Terrible.
Don't you fucking lie to me. It's an 18.
Okay. Certainly, that is not why he came to Petrichor. But he, doesn't seem to be telling the truth.
Why did you really come here?
To get away from this investigator person. Look, if you're here to try to figure out who killed the ambassador, I'm giving you this answer. All right? Diatre,
If you're lying about these things, how do I know you're not lying about this?
I guess you don't.
Can I,
So
sorry.
just be truthful with me, alright? It's gonna be better for both of us.
Can I try to make an insight check to figure out why he cares so much who our employer is?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
17.
Okay. Alina, as you kind of consider this, in your brief time that you have spent away from Thornholm and other places, you have seen there is this weird kind of thing that happens in cities where people are very interested in what other people do for work. And generally speaking, your observation has been that people are trying to place themselves in a social hierarchy. And so part of this might be that he is trying to figure out who is more powerful, his employer or yours.
Okay.
Because he isn't really sure who to be afraid of at this moment.
Now that I've figured that out, and we've heard of this Diatre person before.
Diatre Lunsunder.
Yeah. So now that I know this, do I know who's more powerful? I mean, I assume it's Hirsum, but like, do I have
A flat intelligence check.
Should we at least like be under
19
roof or something?
You put on your power level reader. Alina, it's hard because you're not sure how impartial you can be. I mean, Hirsum.
I mean, yeah, like obviously he's better, but
You don't really know much about Diatre. You know that he's kind of like a recluse. He holds parties. And so if it's between like a guy who holds like kind of like what seem to be really quiet parties or Hirsum.
yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
He's from the Ambertint Abode.
You had heard that the Ambertint Abode
Oh, is he? I have his
We
cup.
heard
I
about
have his
the cup.
Yeah.
We heard about his
Lives south of the Awesome Lock, Spire of the Mages, in a lofty estate.
So you would remember the person that you had caught at the sort of racetrack is the individual who lived in the Ambertint Abode. They had told you that a servant of Diatre Lunsunder had been the person who had instructed them to stop whoever was doing this investigation.
Yeah. Okay.
So as now that my gears are turning, as Dire Croak is like, but you're gonna let me go, right? Alina's gonna be like, I'm sure that Hirsum will be very kind since you've been so helpful to us.
So does that mean I gotta go somewhere?
Well, we're gonna let you go, but in a little bit. And by let you go in a little bit, it'll probably be let you go to jail.
You can see he kind of squints and goes, "Which jail?"
This is probably gonna be the one back in Emerald Spire eventually. But for now, you're gonna probably stay with us for a bit.
Did he?
So we're gonna get comfy. And I have more questions for you.
Okay.
Did he seem to notice Hirsum's name or like react to it at all?
Not really.
That was my only play.
So, what do you know about why Diatre hired you?
Because I'm good at poisoning people.
Right, but
I have no idea, and I don't ask. For this reason.
right, understandable. And your employer here in Petrichor.
I don't have an employer here. This is kind of like you alluded to, a hideout. Make an insight check. Eye for deceit, ear for deceit, brain for knowledge.
21.
The 21, that seems
for
pretty
knowledge.
genuine.
Alright. Well, we're gonna let you go into custody
It's already in custody.
of local guards or whatever. I don't think we're gonna get much more from him.
Yeah, and I don't want to drag him all the way back to the Emerald Spire, right?
I mean, we don't even know where we're gonna end up from here. We don't know how far away the Emerald Spire is.
Right, we do have to figure out a way back.
Because we're in fucky Fey land.
And I have a feeling like if we're carrying around a guy that's like a criminal, and then we have him, he's gonna try to constantly get away, or more people can
You're just saying this out
get
loud?
him. Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, I'm not a criminal. I'm a poisoner.
It kind of makes you a criminal. You're wanted for murder.
Did you think that poisoning the ambassador was not a crime?
It kind of depends on where you are.
At the very least, it makes you an accomplice.
Well, let me ask you this. Aren't you guys all kind of murderers?
Yeah, but we have
Yes.
the law on our side.
But you're not the police? You're not the guards?
I showed you my badge, didn't I?
Yeah, but like, I have a belt buckle that looks kind of like that, and I could show you that. It doesn't make me a guard.
All right.
Look, it seems like you seem like a nice group of people, and probably you have some guild or whatever it is that you guys do. That's great. I appreciate it. Maybe I can make a contribution to this guild, okay?
Billy's like
But-
flossing her teeth with her dagger in the background, like.
But I really don't know what you're trying to do. In Petrichor, you could turn me over to the authorities, that's fine. You could bring me all the way back to the Emerald Spire. How are you even getting there? It took me like 5 days to get here.
None of your concern, Shirley. Let's just bring him to the authorities here in Petrichor, and then we'll go about our business without this.
Well, see, now that he said that it would be fine for him to do that, I get the sense that maybe he's got some sort of connection within the city.
But he's not the big fish.
Right.
We gotta go get the big fish.
Can I ask then, why not just let me free?
Could you please be quiet?
Mingus is kind of like lean closer to everyone and just be like, "Do we know who the authorities
trying to
here are?"
Do we know who
Billy-
the authorities in Petrichor would be?
You have not asked anybody about that.
Billy takes one of her potion bottles, uncorks it, empties out the contents, and kind of like walks over to Dire Croak and attempts to like scoop some of his mucus into the potion bottle.
He kind of like tries to squirrel in. He goes, "Look, if it's not refined, it's not going to work quite as well as you want. And also, this is really, really invading my personal space."
Don't worry about it. You tried to kill somebody.
You can add 1 vial of Dire Croak slime to your inventory.
I'm really tired of him like butting in. Can I try to just knock him out?
Yeah, sure. It's a non-lethal attack. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I'm gonna use my horns.
Okay, fantastic.
Well, because I get it's a better roll if I use my headbutt.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, that hits. And you can roll at advantage too. I mean, he's tied up.
You're still 17. I am still inspired. Okay, remind me. Can I add this to the
Ability checks, yeah.
It's an attack roll.
That wasn't an attack.
Oh, to attack rolls, yes, but not to your damage.
Sure. Why not? Just for fun. 23.
Yeah, solid, squared away headbutt, and don't even worry about rolling for damage. Just a little hurt, and you just boom, right in the face, and right as he's going, look, guys, bam, lights out.
Okay.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Man.
Little
Yeah.
skin on skin contact.
Worth it. Totally worth it. Uh-oh. 10.
A 10. Okay. So, you bam, headbutt Dire Croak, and you rub your head that hurts a little bit, and then you look up, and suddenly, though you swear you killed all of the grunt, you are surrounded by them. A blue one, a pink one off in the corner, and you are surrounded by enemies. I'll say, for the purposes of this, go ahead and make an attack roll, and then Minka and Ori make dexterity saving throws, please.
What kind of attack roll? Just unarmed strike?
Headbutt.
All right. 4.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
7.
Okay. You swing as hard as you can, trying to headbutt Minka. All of a sudden, headbutts Dire Croak, gets really wound up apparently, and goes to headbutt you and Minka. You mostly fall out of the range. You're unable to headbutt Minka, and then you blink, and this blue grung is just Minka on the ground. Dire Croak unconscious, tongue split out in the ground.
Sorry.
Why did you do that?
It's the goo. It's the goo.
I can help
She
with your
knew
poison.
that was gonna do that. You don't touch them.
I got excited.
It shows you almost
Asher
hit
has
Minka.
long since gotten bored and snuck away.
Okay, where are you going?
To find a crowd to entertain, possibly lighten their pockets.
Okay, yeah. You go and head back towards the center of town. We'll get back to that.
Okay, sorry. I just thought he was interjecting too much, obviously trying to save his own skin. Now we can decide what to do without needing to worry about that. I think we should find out who the authorities are, drop him off, and then make a plan for getting back to the Emerald Spire.
But they don't care what he's done here. He's wanted in the Emerald Spire.
But I'm fairly certain if we communicate that we are agents of Hirsum's
Does
and
anybody
that
have a
we...
passive perception over 16?
I do.
I have
think I
just
do, too.
16.
Oh no, I don't. I definitely
So
don't.
for the two of you, for what it's worth, the turtle has been trying to get your attention and is now like, he's probably all the way at the other end now. He's like walking around the entirety of this little pier. But it's taken him a long time to do.
What's up, friend?
He stops, he's like all the way there, and you hear him call out, "Can I take my raft back?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you!" And he turns, and he has to walk all the way back down to the other end to get it, but he's going. So no problem.
Okay, can we not be in the rain?
Right.
It was fine, but we're all very wet.
All right. I propose we secure him in a more permanent fashion,
Like a jail cell.
like something that we can take him around in. Maybe perhaps a second rope, followed by a satchel of some.
Does Mika know Ori has a criminal background of some kind?
Make a insight check.
15.
So
16. Math.
16. So you kind of like look at Ori, not like a criminal background, maybe. I mean, there are things about Ori that are a little odd that maybe don't quite add up, but you've seen Ori. Being like a criminal mastermind requires being a mastermind. You think back, and there's like a smash cut of Ori playing the flute through the darkness on the back of his horse. There's like a smash cut of Ori diving the horse over, and you see the horse come down and clobber you, and you're like, probably not.
So I think, a second rope at the very least. Ideally, some sort of satchel, and we, drawstrings so we can just keep his head out.
That's
Feeding.
fine, but don't you think we've gotten all we need from him?
Seems kind of demeaning.
Well, see, I think we're just not asking the right questions. He definitely knows something, and at the very least, you can give it to Hirsum as a prize or whatever. so he can like you more.
I like prizes.
Yeah, no, you really like Hirschum a bit too much. It's a
Are
little
we-
uncomfortable.
Oh, that's not fair. I mean,
Wild right
It's a
now.
little creepy, if we're being honest.
How are you checking that?
Billy kind of like sniffs the air.
Make a perception check.
in the meantime, I'm gonna be like, you just don't know what Hirsum's capable of like I do. He
See-
sits at the right hand of Sir Nunos.
He's capable of paying us for
23?
doing his deeds. That's really it for me. I don't
Listen,
care
and
much
then
about the
Alina's
rest
just
of it.
gonna launch into her standard script for how great Sir Nunos is.
Yeah, sure. You kind of, Billy, the chatter dies down in the back of your mind, and you sniff the air, and kind of tasting the rain as it falls. There is a change to it. Something about it feels a little bit lighter. There is a little bit more warmth to it, and you feel like your location has certainly changed. With that check, you have no idea as to where, but you would imagine the borders of this town no longer lie where they once did.
Billy's gonna pull out her panpipes again and kind of like look at them a little bit. And thinking about the fact that Hirsum also plays a set of panpipes. Just starts like playing very quietly. On the off chance that maybe he's around and keeping tabs,
Yeah,
just in case.
sure. You play your panpipes quietly, and for some reason, he doesn't appear. He could be here, it's very possible, but does not make himself known.
Shot in the dark.
Or
Look, let's at least get him to the authorities so that we can just leave him for a little while while we
this is
figure
what
out
I'm
our next
saying is
move.
I think
No, just stick
in
him in
this
jail until we're ready.
situation, I believe that we are the higher authority here. Because again, we're Hirsum's group.
Okay, so let me just recap what you want to do. You want to put another rope around him. And then a
Secure
bag
him,
over the head.
Maybe a chain if we could find one.
I just think if we drop him off at the
Manacles.
city jail for a little while, then that's secure.
Right, but we need to take him with us.
Just for the night.
We still have to figure out how we're getting back.
Right.
Right,
We
that's
need to
what I'm
make a
saying.
plan. I don't want to be lugging him around while we're figuring it out.
No, it's just we'll put him in a satchel. It's fine.
I think he's gonna still try to kill us.
Right, so that's why we put him in a second rope and the satchel.
Listen,
Billy, while they're arguing, walks over to like the merchant stand and kind of sees if he's still over there trying
He's
to
there.
like,
He's like now trying to prop it back up. Like the grung fell through, and so first he used like a broom to sweep the corpse like off to the side, and now he's trying to like prop his stand back together.
hey, sorry about the collateral damage. We're hoping to kind of report this to the local authorities, but we're new in town. Where should we go for that?
You should probably talk to God Gary. He's going to be able to help you out.
God, Gary.
Guard.
Oh, guard.
But there's really only about 4 of them, and so that was a lot of commotion. We don't normally get this.
Yeah, we weren't really expecting it either, but thanks. We'll go let them know. Sorry about the...
Well, you could pay some coin, and that would help.
Good. Okay, bye.
Billy takes out one of her potions and a gold coin and says, "Here, I got this off of like a merchant at sea. You can have that with the gold."
He takes the potion, kind of like not really sure what to do with it, but he takes the gold, and thank you so much. I have some food. It's mostly covered in wood now, but
Yeah, just, pretend this didn't happen.
okay. He just takes the gold and pockets it, and it seems to be much improved mood. That's a good amount of money for him. So, no problem. You mend your relationship with the town.
Billy heads back over. I'm assuming they're still arguing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And Alina's like, listen, the orange goo that he's got, it makes you think that your allies are your enemies.
Right, because that's why you were headbutting Minka.
I'm just saying, if he gets us again, then we could
Right.
really hurt each
That's why
other.
I'm saying if we put him in 2 ropes
Guys,
or a chain.
I would really like
and
to
a
get
satchel.
moving if you would all shut up.
So we'll get the satchel. Put him in.
So apparently the local guard is a guy named Gary.
See, we can probably do better than Gary.
There's only 4 of them, and we could probably take them if it comes down to it, but we should at least drop him off so he's got babysitters, because I don't want to be that.
Right. I'm saying, I'll do it. I don't want to let this thing get away from
Fine, you can hang out with guard Gary.
No, I don't
You
wanna
take
hang out with
responsibility
Gary.
for
I
him
wanna hang
then,
out
but don't come crying to us when we have to.
When I headbutt Minka,
Listen, apparently he's got some connection where staying in Petrichor isn't a bad thing. If you sit with him, with guard Gary, you might
need
learn
guard
something.
Gary.
Wait.
You do.
Wait, hang on, guys. The cup you got, right,
right?
was from Lord
It's
Guy,
from, yes, it's
and it
from,
had petrichor on it.
Yes.
Does P have strings here then?
Well, that's what I was hoping to find out when our compatriot here knocked out the person that I was.
Billy
But that's a
searches
good point.
Direcroak's pocket to see if her fingernail's still there.
Make an investigation check.
A lot of commotions happened.
Yeah.
He's got
ate
eyes
it.
in Petrichor. This happened first.
12.
12. So you reach down, and within the pockets, you kind of pat them down, and you do find a little bag that seems laden with small metallic objects. Probably his coin purse.
Billy pockets that.
No problem. And so eventually you can add 23 silver, 4 pieces of gold, and a small, hard, looks like some kind of a sweet, green in color. It is not magical. It is just like a sweet that's slipped in there. With a 12, that's most of what you find, which is odd. You would imagine that for a poisoner, should be armed maybe, but does not seem to be.
Alright,
That's wasted.
so I'm gonna go get a satchel. And
Hold
if
on,
I
hold
can-
on. Minka's right that this Dietre fellow might have connections here in Petrichor. If that's the case, we should get him out of the city, right?
Right, but we can't do that until the weather, whatever.
We've moved somewhere else.
Right.
We can still get him out of the city. It just wouldn't be where we left off.
I'm just gonna look around for Cheshire, thinking, and then be like, "We lost her. She's gone."
Nowhere to be seen.
Fine.
I say we bring him to the guards, figure out why he's not exactly upset to be turned into authorities in Petrichor, figure out what connection this Dietre guy has, and then we return to Hursum with more information. He wasn't exactly happy when we just turned back to say, hey, we found where Direcroak was living.
Alright, but for some reason I don't feel like turning him over to.
We'll stay there with him. We'll let them know that this is just a holding cell while we bring him over to Emerald Spire and negotiate travel.
I'm nervous that we lost sight of Cheshire for this long.
She's probably around somewhere scheming.
Just listen for fireworks.
She kind of just does what she wants, doesn't she?
Yeah, but I feel like this town. We brought her here. We're responsible for her.
If she doesn't want to stay
We're
with
not
the
worried
group,
about
then
Cheshire's safety. We're worried about the world.
I'm sure she'll find her way back to us eventually. And if she
if
doesn't
she
want
doesn't-
to, well,
If she doesn't, then I think that
We'll be
we may be all the better for it.
She has saved our lives multiple times.
She's also caused innumerable hurts to me in particular.
yeah. What is it? Why does she seem to hate you?
You know,
Billy just kind of gestures at Hori like,
Come on. He's not. I mean, well.
Okay, so
I guess I just have that sort of personality.
find a sack, Find
You converted somebody.
find more ways of keeping him from killing us.
Some chains, maybe. Chains.
Avoid the Grung assassination group, which apparently disappeared somehow here. Find out how this Lord guy has any connection here. Find Cheshire.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Also, we gotta figure out what the star map thing is. Like, I can't read it.
Maybe Harrison can help. I mean, he's really smart.
We stole it from his friend, though.
Yeah, we're not getting back on that ship.
We're super not getting back on that ship.
I forgot how that came to be in your possession. Sorry.
Imagine too, they didn't just drop you off. I mean, they were gathering supplies. They're probably still here, for what it's worth.
But we don't know where here is anywhere.
Well, I mean, assuming that we haven't burned every bridge that we have with them, we can always go back and ask them what the plan is for getting back to the material plane, and then
They probably know we have the star map.
Maybe you just give it back? Say that you found it?
or just throw
You know
Cheshire
that
under the bus.
Cheshire's... Yeah, you could blame Cheshire. It was sort of her fault for the majority of this.
But no, we can't do that.
But we can. We can very easily, actually, if we just go back with the star magic. We can just tell them whatever.
But first, I guess we need a satchel.
Everybody is on board.
Look, I just really think we should get him out of town now that Minka has pointed out that there's probably eyes here for the person that we are trying to
Right, so
investigate.
if we put him in a satchel, then no one will see that we have him, because it'll be in the
We're
satchel.
also just kind of standing here.
You have been sitting here for a long time now, and you do remember there was one grunt that you heard run away, the wet footsteps across the tiles, and so
I don't know that, because I was floating downriver.
really only Mega Billy and Alina would have seen that.
Right, well,
Oh, just Alina and Billy, actually.
I'm gonna lift him back up onto the shoulder.
I just remembered that one grog did get away, so we should probably go.
Oh no. Okay, let's
Alright, well,
go.
Maybe we should, as a first step, maybe we should go back to the bar place that we were.
yes.
back
we
to
can use
our-
blankets instead of a satchel.
We can
That's
at
good.
least go back. We can make that like our home base just for a little while until we figure out what to do next.
Alright.
Is poisoning the sheets worse than what the last group did?
Well, I can't because I just had to pay for that raft. But I'm sure a blanket's not that expensive. We can give them something.
Have you seen that place? That's blankets probably imported from Dominion or something.
I'm sure we can find some materials to
Some
restrain
sort
him
of-
properly.
Maybe they have just a
Made of
spare
sheep from the
few
ethereal
bags in
plane.
the kitchen. You know, empty potato sacks or something.
How about your merchant friend back there? What's he selling?
Wood.
Well,
I'm gonna
let's start
heading
walking back.
towards the
As a group,
On my
you
shoulder.
finally turn and decide, you know what, let's get out of the rain. This might be a dangerous place to stick around.
Like 10 minutes ago, Minka was
A
like,
month has passed. It is now high sun. Now, so you begin to make your way back towards the Petrichor Performers Association, where, at this moment, Cheshire, you are arriving. And because it is 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to end for the evening. But next week, we'll pick up with the next performance of Cheshire, perhaps a new epic, and the next part of this adventure. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back next week on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't wait that long, we'll be back with Starfinder on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
bye.